Kilo Alpha 3, Sierra Victor Kilo. Kilo Alpha 3, Sierra Victor Kilo. KA3SVK. Hello, radio. Chris, I hear you in there, N1SAG, but you're way in the back of my radio, over. Kilo Alpha 3, Sierra Victor Kilo. Hello, radio. KA3SVK.
got good luck hearing anybody tonight.
Well, I hear you.
What did he say?
I don't know. I didn't hear it. What did he say?
Man, it's rough out there.
Yeah, I know. I was going to get on the 60-meter net. I just checked in, and I checked out of the 60-meter net because it was too rough. I said, I'm just saying hello to everybody, and I got out.
Yeah, well, I tried changing my feed line length on the loop today and had bitter results, so I just went back to the way it was.
Well, I don't even know what you have.
Well, it's okay. You don't got to worry about it because I didn't change it.
What did you try to change it to then?
Oh, no, it's a full loop. I just had, I was going to shorten the feed line length. I have a certain number of feet of open wire line that goes from my coax up to the feed point, and I tried shortening that up a bit, and come to discover that through my match out so wackadoodle that I just said, you know what, I'm not digging around with it. I'm just going to go right back to the way it was, and that's what I did.
Okay, sounds good. How long?
I'm sorry?
How long is your feed line?
The open wire portion of it is 60 feet.
Okay, that sounds about correct. There's some weird formulas. I got it in my book. It says certain wavelength, a certain amount of ladder line to avoid because it causes mismatches to tuners. And they said I hear all kinds of people say things, and everything I hear tells me something other than what's written in a book. Let me just say it that way. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm hearing you about 75 to 80%, and I'm missing a spot every now and then due to lightning activity. Well, the reason I have 60-foot open wire line is because that's the way I was feeding my dipole, and I just stuck with that same formula to go up to the loop, so I just stayed with that number, and that seemed to work out good. The wire length, and everything, it was resonant and was all happy and good, and I just, for grins and giggles, just went up there to see if I could take out about, 20 foot of it or so, shorten it up a little bit, and it just really didn't like that.
Like I said, a wire that is not good for the tuner, according to what I've read. They give you a certain amount of footage from point to point at different areas of length, and they say that it works better with the tuners. I'm going to look it up.
I remember hearing 60 feet was one of those, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to look it up and see what it says. Hold on.
Okie dokie.
If I can find it. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're working with a 160 meter antenna, they recommend 35 to 60, 70 to 95, and 210 to 235.
Well, there you go. I'm right in that first category.
Yeah, that's what's written down here that works the best with tuners. They say not to have it exactly tuned to the frequency. You tune it to this area that is not really perfect for anything in particular, but it makes the tuner work. It says avoid 130 to 260.
Yeah, that's too close to halfway.
Well, that's all I know. I don't know anything.
Oh, it is what it is. We'll use it till it rots, and we'll put up something else.
It doesn't work for me because if I put ladder line the next time I do an antenna, and this one craps out, and next time I do it, I only have maybe 45 foot. It'll be perfect. Of course, I have to get a different tuner, according to everybody. Mine won't work.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's got their opinion on what's good and bad around here.
Let's put it this way. I'll try it first. See if it doesn't work. I have a place for the tuner, and I'll get a good one.
Yeah, I couldn't find a tuner that I liked, so I just made my own.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah. Didn't you see the web page?
No, I've never seen the webpage.
You didn't go to the Toad Harbor Facebook page, the official Toad Harbor site?
No, not really. I don't do Facebook. I will not get on Facebook.
Well, if you did, you'd see a picture of my tuner right there on the picture.
I don't get on Facebook, period.
I don't get on Facebook anymore either. I tried it briefly to talk to my daughter, but it didn't work out so well, so I got right back off of it.
I don't like it, don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't post anything on it. My wife is all over it. I said, you do what you want. I said, I'm incognito. I'm not giving my stuff away.
Yeah, kind of agree with you on that.
I had something interesting happen to me. I'm so incognito that I didn't tell you that story about FCC coming to my house. That I not FCC, but what do they call that group? It's like the FBI. I forgot what it's called. Hold on. I forgot what it's called. It's the one, Homeland Security.
Okay, what about them?
I had them come to my house one time.
For?
It's interesting. I went many years ago. I bought a jammer from China, and they were allowed to sell them back then. And they confiscated it in customs, and they sent me a letter. I said, okay, fine. I said, keep it then. I said, I didn't know. And I said, don't ship it to my house. Don't even, I got your letter. Thank you very much. Don't want it. Didn't realize it. And then they, about a month later, there's an unmarked vehicle in front of my house. And my wife was looking at him. That looks strange. She went outside, and two guys got out of the federal car and greeted my wife. And they said to my wife, your husband tried to purchase blah, blah from such and such, and it's not FCC type accepted, and they're illegal in the United States. And she started laughing at him. And they had no idea. She's just laughing at him. And she says, that's my husband. He likes gadgets.
Really?
Yeah, so they noticed on him when I called him up at the agency in Baltimore. I said, your phone number's not listed? He says, it's not supposed to be listed. You aren't even supposed to know it. I said, well, you gave it to me. And I called him up and I told him where I purchased it from. I said it came from China. And, you talk to them. Tell them they're supposed to sell them here then. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? And they said they tried to look me up on the internet and they couldn't find anything on me. So they figured I couldn't be a threat.
Oh, you could be. You very well could be.
It was funny though. I got a couple out of it. It was a good one too. I wish I got it.
So what exactly did it do as a jammer? Did it sweep frequencies with an obnoxious noise, or?
Many years ago, they were legal in the United States. And what they did, they weren't. broadband of I don't know how many megahertz wide from like the 900 megahertz, the 800 megahertz area, 900 megahertz area, what do you call it, Wi-Fi area, and it has like 5 antennas on it. Wi-Fi area and oh goodness gracious, they did 3G and 4G. So it blocks all these signals. What it does is it gives out a broadband low noise, because everything's digital. It gives out a very low noise floor that interrupts the digital signals so that they can't be deciphered properly. And your receiver, basically, if you're in proximity of this device, it'll take your receiver and just null and void any type of signals, because it can't decipher the digital signals because of the noise that it creates. And I say it's broadband. It could be like 10 kilohertz wide, 10 megahertz wide. It's huge in the different areas that it's designed for, but it's mainly for Wi-Fi. The one I'll say I actually have one, but the one I have, it does Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, 900, 800, and another area also. If you're within 100 feet of that thing, you're not going to get a signal.
Well, I can see why they would have interest in that.
Yeah. I remember a place that I used to work. One of the guys that I worked with was playing with it. I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I was playing around with it." I said, "Don't do that. Don't do that." And he was messing with Virginia police. They had their laptops, and they were trying to get into their network with their laptops, which is on a 900 megahertz area, and they were getting upset because the damn things weren't working. Well, he had it turned on.
Oh, yeah. Dude, they probably have a satellite dedicated to you now.
Well, the one I wanted put out 10 watts on each band, and that's quite a bit.
You'd need a hefty heat sink for something of that magnitude.
Yeah, I'd say so. But you know, and here's something else I find it be interesting. They sell broadband amplifiers on eBay that will go all those frequencies that you want to go on. And as long as you don't have more than, I think it's no more than 1 watt going into them, they'll produce 50 watts broadband on all those frequencies. So if you take one of these handheld ones and hook it up to it, it becomes a super powerful 50-watt one.
Yeah, you could black out an entire area for probably almost a mile. You could be getting away and doing with just about anything you wanted to without being traced or followed or communicated about. Or yeah, I could definitely see how that would put you on a gee, what's this guy up to list.
Always run their laptops and have their phones and their Wi-Fi, and everybody's sitting around the table first thing in the morning for about an hour before we go to work, and nobody's talking, and everybody's playing with their phones. And so I brought it in, and I didn't tell anybody. I set it in my lunchbox, turned it on, and everybody...
Static crashes.
They weren't getting any 3G or 4G, and their cell phones were showing no service. And
Randy. David. I'll stand by.
And then they start all talking. And then somebody I know looked at me and he says, "You did." And I just smiled and started laughing. And then it was out. That's all it was. It's a toy.
Oh, I see. Anyway, there is a picture of my tuner on the Facebook page, or the, I don't think you necessarily have to go to Facebook to get on the web page, the Code Harbor web page or whatever it is, but I have 3 pictures of my tuner up on the main page there that Randy put up for me. I didn't ask him to. He just put them up.
You begged me to. Chris, you paid me $25 in small bills.
So everybody could admire it. My tuner's building an 8-gallon wash tub.
That's pretty cool. I wish I'd have to ask my wife to do it because I can't. But I heard someone else out there. Who is in there? K3SPK. Well, I thought I heard someone else. Maybe I didn't.
I'm receiving you better on my East-West beverage.
What is it, Scotch on rocks?
It's long and thin and conductive.
What's what's in your glass, your beverage glass?
A Long Island.
Here's Kilowatt Bravo 2, Zulu, Victoria, Papa. Where's everybody with big signals?
Oh, it's Randy. Yay.
Oh, no. I'm just a small signal.
David, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
Hello, Chris.
I'm okay, Randy. I'm working here on the amp.
Which amp are you working on? The lights on Gary's?
Yeah, it's all set. I'm putting the cover back on.
What lights did you settle on?
He only had one out, so he brought me lights. I put one in, but it was brighter than the other three, so I put all 4 bright lights in. So he'll be happy now.
What did he bring you, though?
LEDs. They were just a little bit. Well, I had to just open up those plastic housings a little bit to get them to fit in there, and you just kind of jam them in place, solder them up, observe good e-circuitry and cold solder joints and all that, and I was pretty successful. Over.
Roger. Well, they look good from here, I can tell you that. Great job, buddy.
Well, I just turned it on. I just finished. Just turned it on. Everything looks good.
So did Gary get his antenna up yet?
No, and I really hollered at him. I gave him hell hard.
So I hope everybody realizes tomorrow is National Gardening Day. Naked.
Oh, National Naked Gardening Day.
Now, I'll be out there. I'll be sowing my oats and cultivating my earth.
So if I were to get butt naked and go out and do some gardening, and the police rolled up and arrested me,
You can't be arrested for being naked in your own yard.
yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Here you can.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you could be.
It's called public nudity.
You're not in the public. You're in your own yard.
Yes, I may be in my own yard, but the public can view me in my yard.
Or they could just not look.
Yeah, it kind of don't work that way.
Tell them to kiss your fuzzy butt, you know what I mean? And just, listen, it's National Garden Naked Day, so look, it's just how it is, okay? It's a national holiday, for crying out loud. You can't be arrested on a national holiday for observing the national holiday.
Well,
Hey, let's not hope that, let's hope it doesn't be sunny tomorrow. There's going to be some big white light coming from the west.
possible, I don't know, jail time. You can be my attorney and try to explain to him why I had the right to do that.
Sure, do it. Feel free. Go ahead. I'm going to run around naked. I don't care. I mean, my neighbors have all seen me naked, so it doesn't matter. They've got a pool.
One thing that would make that even better is if you were naked, but you had a gun holster on.
I can't do that. I am not licensed to carry a pistol, so I just have to I walk around with my Henry.
Then not only would I get a trip to the magistrate, but I would also get a trip to the psychiatric facility.
there's so much. This could go so many ways. I tell you, I got a devious mind or some kind of a crazy mind. Anyway, hello, Carl, and nice to hear you. KB2ZVP at 38.
Hello, Randy and Chris, Dave, and Mark. Hope everything's going okay. Like I was saying, don't let the sun shine on you. There's going to be a blinding white light, and we'll all be blind.
I'll last for about 5 minutes, and then I'll have to come inside. I was doing a little gardening today.
Where are you?
Yeah, I got most of that pile of manure mulch, mushroom soil, over and distributed evenly across the garden, and we'll be ready to till probably tomorrow or Sunday. And got some cucumbers planted out in the front patch by the porch. And generally did some cleanup around the property, picked up all the toys by the deck and the sandbox, and did some weed whacking all around, but I was not naked. And then we called it, gee, I'm going to change my feed line on my antenna to see what happens, and that didn't work out. And then it was, closer to radio time.
At least you've got that figured out. It's you got to observe radio time.
Ooh, yeah. Well, since I got a 60/9 signal report last night, I figure, what the heck? It might just get better.
What you do, hook your antenna to somebody's receiver?
That's what Ray said. She said, what'd you do? Hook up a radio? But no, this is an individual that was one whole state away.
Holy cat, 60 over, that's a great signal.
Well, he said, I said I probably would have had more, but his radio didn't have 80/9 capability.
You did mention how your signal's 100% due to the fact that you've come across the world-famous Toad Harbor net, right?
No.
You hear this, Dave? He's not giving us any credit. I'm not sure he can stay.
Do you realize that there are people that get in here on a regular basis that haven't even looked at the web page for the Toad Harbor?
What's a web page? N1SAG.
Yeah, we give passes to certain people because they pay extra.
Well, I thought I was under contract when the picture went up of the tuner that I was going to get a certain amount of viewers over a specific period of time for advertising in the contract, and
well, nobody said you were paid for thinking.
No. According to the radar map, I'm just about to be crushed with a heavy thunderstorm.
According to the radar map, we're getting crushed by it. But I was just out there shooting a red squirrel, and it's raining, but not unmercifully like it looks like on the radar.
Oh, poor little red squirrel. What did he ever do to you?
He went up into my attic and carried nuts up my attic.
All right. Well, do you want to spend all winter outside?
No, but you know what? Eating through my fascia board that I replaced twice so far since I lived here will get him a death sentence, and that's just all there is to it.
I see.
Hey, did we have anybody go to Nearfest today?
WB2 BYP is up there. He was texting in last night, as a matter of fact. He was giving signal reports.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to maybe find out how it was, because they're saying that maybe tomorrow won't be too half bad. I was thinking maybe I might ride out there.
Well, I think you owe it to yourself to do that, for sure.
Yeah, well, I want to know, is it all tables of everybody's old boat anchor stuff, or do they have a lot of people with new stuff? maybe somebody will show up that's still on their way back, you know?
Holy cow, even on the beverage I'm getting buried in lightning.
There's a lot of QSB too, you know. You're down almost to the noise, then you're up out of it and back down again. It's going up and down about every 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of atmospheric charging from the tops of the Thunder Boomer, so the band's probably going to be doing all kind of weird stuff up here in the Northeast tonight.
So at this very second, at this very minute, Ray is handing the keys to some guy that bought his car, that car he's been trying to sell.
The Beamer.
Oh, so then that means he won't be cruising to the summit with it.
Will not be cruising to the summit.
Is he, like, preparing to go to the home or something? Because he seems to be, like, getting rid of all of his stuff.
Well, he inherited it from his mom passing, so that's just stuff that he was, you know, given that's second to his needs.
Family heirlooms.
I don't know. I think I might have probably kept the Beamer and sold the other one.
I'm not a big Beamer fan, to be honest, so I don't blame him. I mean, I'm just not. You know, those are fine cars and all that, but just not for me.
You're a truck guy, right?
I am. I'm a truck guy, and I had a Mercedes at one time, and that thing, anytime you had to do anything to that car, it was so expensive to change or to fix or to repair. But so I like trucks. We have a Toyota. It's a Camry, and it's been a remarkably good car. I would never buy a Toyota on my own, but Maureen's got this Toyota, and it's a 2009, and it hasn't cost us not a cent of repairs, and it's got 160,000 miles on it. It's just a sensational car.
I'm here.
He's here.
So I went to R&L Electronics today to look up that deal that they had with the 7300 and the power supply deal, and I did not find it.
Well, what do you use for a power supply now?
Who's the Week Mobile?
What do you use for a power supply now?
Is that Ray?
It's Ray, but he just got on. His amp's not on.
You know, it's not me. It's him. His receiver doesn't receive worth a crap.
Does he have his amp on?
I can hear him with no problem at all, amp or not. I can, even with his amp off, I can hear him with no sweat, and yet he can't hear me without the amp on.
Ray, you're not even an S9
says
here.
the item is currently in stock.
Yeah, just remember though, Ray, he's completely encased in storms right now, so he's having a hard time hearing me. So therefore, you know, you've got no shot.
Yeah, but Ray's like an S9. He's usually 40 over.
Ray, hook up your antenna.
Well, I'm running 100 watts right now. It's 2 minutes, these are slow amps. Hey, I came up with this brilliant idea, Randy. You want a truly brilliant... I know you're going to think this is a stupid idea, but it's really the greatest idea you'll ever hear. Are you ready?
Man, I am so ready.
Now, you promise me you're not going to say something stupid. You're going to think about what I'm telling you.
I'm gonna rub my whiskers, and I'm gonna sit here and ponder.
Okay, you know your amp that takes the 2 tubes?
Yes, I do. Okay, yeah.
Well, you should put 2 tubes in it, but you should put 3 CX1200s in it. A pair of 3 CX1200s. Still powerful as hell, but instant on.
I'm pondering. Nope.
Life's too short. You gotta have instant on.
No, I don't. No, I really don't. Because what I do when I get home from work, I come in, I take off my boots, I pet my puppy because he's right there, and then I give my wife a kiss. I walk directly past everybody. I walk in the shack. I turn on the amplifier. I walk back out of the shack, and then I do my whatever I got to do, shower or eat dinner and all that. And then I come back in here and I hook up my coax. I turn on the switch on the back of my beautiful radio, and then I let that cycle, and then I turn the power on to the rig, and by that time my amp, of course, is warmed up because it's been 45 minutes.
You doubled a bit with Ray.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a double, but not really.
Well, anyway, that would be the smart move because that 3CX 1200 is about 10 times more rugged.
Yeah, but okay, 10 times more rugged. The tube that I have in the box that puts out 3,000 watts is the original tube that came with the amplifier. How much more rugged does it need to be?
Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But of course, the real beauty of it is it's instant on, and that would be a great swap. I mean, that would be a really great swap. Actually, I could do that same thing with this amplifier. Probably, I could probably somebody's got to look and see how much difference there is in the sockets.
Carl, you're going up tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. I wanted to see if anybody had been up there today to just get a report on how things were, because if it's a halfway nice day, maybe I'll cruise out.
Yeah. So some new stuff. Haven't seen a new Yaesu rig. 2 IC 9700 sold immediately for $2,000 each. The wet weather is keeping the crowd kind of low, staying till noon tomorrow.
Oh, is that John?
That's the Bipper, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm going to just watch the weather. It's a 4-hour drive, and if it's a nice drive, that's not so bad. But why bother if it's like pouring rain?
Is he coming back on the Mass Pike?
Probably, yeah.
I could meet him and give him those antennas if he wants them.
I'll ask him.
Okay.
Hey, Mark.
Did somebody call me?
Yeah, I did. The R&L website says that the 7300 and a power supply is currently in stock.
R&L Electronics?
Yes. And it's a mail-in rebate, and it's good until June 30th.
Just order it, Mark. Just order it.
Oh, yeah, I plan to. But I didn't see the power supply part on it. I saw the mail-in rebate thing, but I didn't see him list a power supply with it.
What power supply do you use?
Over on the left, you'll see the advertisement for that radio and power supply. Click on it. It goes to their website, and there it is, both pieces.
What power supply do you use, Mark?
Mark, what's your current power supply?
Oh, it's a 40-amp trip light.
The 40-amp trip light. Don't even worry about the power supply. That's a good power supply.
Hey. If I'm getting something for nothing... Remember, cheap's good, free's better.
I don't know if trip light may not be a great supply. Does that have a crowbar circuit in it?
The trip light power supply is a laboratory grade power supply.
I don't know. Does that have the crowbar over voltage protection?
That has everything that you want it to have and more.
I don't know if it does. I had a trip light. I gave it to Larry and W2LB, and he had it for a while, and it got a little goofy, and something went wrong with it. But I wouldn't trade a trip light for an Astron. I know that.
If you bought a trip light unit back in the 80s, it's a good unit. If you buy these new Chinese-made ones, they're junk.
Yeah, the new ones are not good supplies at all. But I would imagine that Mark got his a long time ago.
No, I just recently purchased it here new. Not that long ago, actually.
It's junk.
I got an Astron here from 1985, and it's pretty much run continuously since then.
Voltage protection.
Say it again, Carl.
I have an Astron VS50, and it's basically been on since 1985.
Yeah, they make a great power supply. They really, really do. I have two of them here, 35s. They both have meters, and one's variable. One's a VM. It's a variable output, and the other one's just a regular meter one. I don't use either one of them now because I have this radio, but I do use the one for the mood lighting, the blue lights in the shack.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You're starting to have an extremely commanding signal now, Randy.
I'm warming up the big amp, brother.
Now, could you trade a little of that power to Ray so I could hear him?
He's getting there. He's got I saw the lights dim in the east, so I know he's got his amp on.
Hey, Mark.
Hello?
Hey, if you want to see that ad at R&L, when you go on the QRZ homepage, their ad is over there on the left. And when you click on that ad, it takes you to the site, and it says it's in stock, and it's got the picture of both pieces.
Okay, I'll double check that then. Thank you. I could hear Ray in his weak 100 watts, by the way. I was just stirring him up a little.
We knew that.
It was working, too. It was.
Well, you're not real strong here either. You're only 10 over 9.
That's because you got the wrong antenna.
Well, maybe, and maybe not.
Sorry, I'm just, I had a bit of a stressful moment today, and I don't mean to take it out on Ray, but, sometimes.
Hey, I'm reading Wheat Belly.
It makes you want to eat a lot of wheat, doesn't it?
Are you kidding me? That's poison.
And don't forget who brought that to our attention.
That's right. That our newest member in good standing of the Toad Harbor Net.
I think I'm going to have to buy a PR77D as in Delta.
And why would you need one of those?
Just because it's a 77, it kind of matches the my amp. It's got the same element. I think it shows if you put the frequency response overlay the 40, whatever this PR40 is, it's exactly the same. So I think it's exactly the same element. But it would just be cool to have I like old looking microphones. I was watching this show again today with this crazy girl, and they've got some awesome looking old elements or old microphones in that show. I love the old classic stuff,
Well, why don't you buy one of those elements and just try screwing around and getting it into the Elvis Presley mic?
Yeah, that's a beautiful idea. That's actually not a bad idea at all.
That's probably the smartest thing to do.
Ray, you're starting to sound very good now.
Okay, very good.
You're still fighting with the lightning, but you're still getting over it.
Oh, no problem. Hang on. There we go. I changed my effects processor, so now I'm punching right through with no problem at all.
Yeah, I was going to say put a little processing on tonight. Tonight is not going to be for the faint of heart.
Right. Okay. Well, there. I jammed it up a little more power and the processor on. Oh man, I wouldn't want to be down the band.
So I've got a message from John here. He said that just for you to give me a description, a good description, and he will try to sell them on the VHF reflector. And I said, what? Need them? He would be so happy if the great BYP used his antennas. I don't need them, but I'll help him sell them. I'll take them to the Central States VHF conference in July. Have him bring them to the picnic in June.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Just tell them they're SHF 2328. They're WeMo. SHF 2328.
WeMo, spelled... he just spelled. I think he's trying to spell WeMo, and it came up because everything has. You can't think for yourself, and nobody can spell. So the spelling correction. It says WIMP, WIMP, W-I-M-P. Yes, John, WIMP.
Is he listening to us?
What is a WeMo?
WeMo's a German company. WEMO, WeMo. and they're SHF 2328s, grid reflectors. They're the ones that are in the UHF Experimenter's Handbook. They're in that book, as even though they have a grid reflector, they are allegedly, that's the right reflector for those antennas because of the way they work.
Hey, Ray, turn that thing off there. It sounds like you're yelling at us.
Right, but I'm not yelling, but Mark can't hear us. I don't know, Mark, can you hear me better with the processor on loud?
It sounds terrible.
Now, you don't need to overdo it, Ray. I can hear you. It's just when the lightning's in there, it's pretty rough.
Okay, effect to soft. How's that?
I can't hear you now. You're buried in the noise. John's listening now. Everybody say hello to John. Hello, John.
Hi, John.
Hello, John.
Hey, John, KC1RS.
So what was the consensus? Is it worth the trip going out? Was there lots of stuff?
What do you need? What could you possibly need unless they're selling Kenwood 890?
Oh, I just thought maybe I'd go wander around and, something might strike my fancy. Half the time I go to these things and don't even spend $1.
Just go. Have you experienced it in the past?
Yeah, I've been there 3 times. Many years ago.
Don't even go.
Yeah, then it's like going to the Eastern States Exposition. If you were there 20 years ago, nothing's changed.
You got to go. Then you got to go to Dayton or whatever they call it now.
It's called Xenia.
Xenia. You got to go to Xenia.
Well, he doesn't have to go to look at the Yaesu.
That's right. Rob Sherwood's going to be releasing the test results before it's very long.
Okay, well, they better be good.
Oh, so he's got one to test, does he?
Hey, he's got a Toad Harbian 101 to test.
Yeah, rumor has it.
I love that. I got to tell you, I really, really, really love that.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Hey, it's kind of interesting. It's where you make all these kind of different connections. I'm reading this book my buddy wrote about this racing boat up on Lake George, and he says, in my talks with Andy Rooney, and it turns out that Andy Rooney had a place on Lake George a few doors down for where my friend used to hang out, and he talked to him a whole bunch of times.
Well, I got Bob, what's his name? Bob Lonsbury, world famous radio announcer, coming to the block plant.
To do what?
Check out blocks being made by the world famous block makers.
Wow, you got to get some video that you may share with us.
There are some videos right on the old world famous Toad Harbor web, whatever it's called, the Toad Harbor Facebook page.
You got to get off of that communist Facebook site. I don't ever get to see any of that stuff. And no, I'm never joining Facebook.
Don't be such a wimp.
Ringer web page there, Randy.
What is what?
Why don't you have a Ringer website?
We do. We have Barnes & Cohn. I don't have one myself.
Yeah, you got to get off of that commie Facebook thing, man. They hate conservatives. I'll send a note in and say that the Toad Harbor net's all conservative, and they'll boot you off.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that there's a great truth to that. Okay, I just read the entire new HRO catalog. Just came in today. I've got every page memorized. Anybody wants to know what's on what page, just let me know.
Hey, I got one too. Came today.
Yeah, the rest of the world won't get theirs for another week or so because they're not Toad Harbians.
I should
Well,
be
it's
getting mine
probably
pretty
because
soon.
I mentioned the Toad Harbor when I went out and bought all that stuff out there. Without question. Ray, what did you get done today? Ray?
He sold his car.
Yeah, his car got taken off the lot today. That's good. He's got lots of money now. Dave, what are we going to buy?
I don't know. Like you say, old stuff that works, or, at least you can get it working. N1SAG.
Hey, Randy?
Hey, Doc.
Hold on, I'll put my call in there. WHV.
And 3 or more.
Several legal IP numbers and a couple of servers that I could probably give you a spot to put a website.
I don't know how to do all that stuff, Doc. I just don't. I'm not a big computer guy, I would probably do that. To be honest, I would probably start a Facebook, not a Facebook, but a Toad Harbor web. I probably should start a Toad Harbor website, but I don't know how many people would be interested in it.
I'd use it all the time and be a major contributor, but I'm not giving those idiots at Facebook a dime of my action.
We need to get a server person. Okay, so I've tried to do this before, and we had Rich. We actually have so Rich WZ2D, right? Rich, who used to be in here all the time, was a big computer guy, and he started a site that we could put stuff on, and he also had a phone number that people could call in and leave messages, and that was interesting. That was interesting. But he hasn't been around in a while, and I've lost track of that. But if anybody wants to be the webmaster for the Toad Harbor the Toad Harbor website, the webmaster, just speak up, and we need a webmaster. Doc, if that's you, then so be it.
Oh, man, I hate working with HTML. But I have the sites and I have the machinery and all that.
Well, if certain people would pay their dues, maybe we could throw some money his way for his time and materials.
Get on the web and do whoisnowmountain.org and you'll see.
Yeah, I know you have a big presence on the web, but if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If we got somebody that wants to do it, some people love to do that kind of thing. If you're looking for a way to get your dues reduced in the Toad Harbor arena here, we could put you to work and we could save you some dues.
Do you have any don'ts?
Any don'ts? Yeah, I have a couple of don'ts.
I keep hearing all this business about dues. I'm just kind of wondering if there's a list of don'ts.
Yeah, don'ts means don't run a stainless steel antenna that's half rusted out.
Hey, I'm running a stainless steel antenna for my beverages.
What's wrong with stainless steel for the antenna? I gotta know.
Is this you calling me?
It's not me calling you.
I'll be back shortly. WG2E.
Okay, Carl. Carl is excused. KB2ZVP.
And 3 or more.
KC1RS.
I was on the phone with Joan, and the phone was ringing. Now there's nobody there.
How's my girl, Joan?
Crazy as ever.
You're going to bring her to the picnic, right?
I have no idea.
You got to bring Joan. Everybody knows her.
Well, you better call her and tell her that she has to come.
I'll get her to come.
Okay, I'm leaving that in your corner.
I would have already done that, but I wasn't sure if you wanted me to. I wouldn't speak for you.
Well, it's either her or no one, because there's certainly nobody else I can get.
We're going to bring an extra girl. We got Susie.
Yeah, okay. Well, bring 10 extra girls.
We could bring Michelle from next door.
Bring all of them.
You'd have your hands full with Michelle.
Oh, that's okay. But Michelle's married. I don't want a married girl.
But you'd have your hands full. And I mean full.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Oh, it's going to be rough for the next 3 days down here with storms and lightning and...
Thank God you're on this net. You wouldn't hear anybody else.
Yeah, that's for
You're
damn sure.
right.
You know, it's been raining for about 2 weeks straight here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain here too. It's been, it's good, I guess, that we're getting so much moisture. We're not getting, it's not out of control. We're not getting flooding or anything. Although Lake Ontario, they say, is really, really rough up there. There's a lot of flooding going on.
It could be snow, you know.
Yeah, well, it'd be hard to believe it'd be snow this time of year, but whatever. Yeah, it's better than snow. I'll give you that much. Not much, though.
Yeah, last year Mother's Day it snowed.
When's that?
In next weekend.
Oh, yeah, up where you are, maybe, not down here.
Well, it snowed here 2 days ago.
Snow? I'm going on my second time to mow the grass.
We haven't mowed yet once, but it'll be this weekend we'll have to mow.
Yeah, I mowed the other day.
Fruit trees are all past their blossoms. They got fruit on them.
No, we're not. You're way ahead of us.
Yeah, baby, it's like summer out there almost.
Yeah, it's been cold and raining here. My grass hasn't grown hardly at all. A few weeds. I just put fertilizer on it because it didn't seem like there was much else I could do.
My cherry trees are starting to blossom. That got me excited.
Well, I hope you didn't lose them because we had an awesome blossom down here on all of the fruit trees. It was crazy stupid how many blossoms were on. Because last year they got wet and rained out, and we had no fruit last year at all. But this year looks like we're going to make up for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I didn't get any cherries last year either. Got a few peaches, but nothing much.
Mark, do you plant vegetables?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was doing today. I was spreading the mushroom soil from the pile by the edge of the alley there that the truck delivered, and I was moving that with a wheelbarrow over into the garden area inside the fence there, so that when I till it up here in a day or two, that it gets the soil prepped and ready to go.
Mark, do you plant vegetables?
Oh, yes, sir. Sure do.
I said yes.
Well, I'm talking to you, Mark. Do you plant them, right?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Mark.
I answered you twice now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you plant vegetables for the fourth time?
And for the fourth time, I answered yes.
Okay, now are the ones you plant the ones you can spray with Roundup and it won't kill them?
I do not use Roundup.
I know, like I said, I was reading Wheat Belly. I got a real kick out of that. Those plants are genetically modified so they can spray them with Roundup and it won't kill them. Beautiful. I love those. Where do I get that? That sounds yummy to eat.
You get that at any bread store, any store that sells bread. That's where you get that.
Yeah, and any box of corn flakes, any soda that has corn syrup, or any product that has anything corn in it. Yeah.
Welcome to the new glyphosate world we live in.
I'll tell you something right now that I've had for now how many years? Geez, I don't know, for probably 20 years I've had to take, what's that pink pill that I take that Prilosec for heartburn. I've taken that for easily 20 years, probably 25 years. However, I mean, I can't remember when I didn't take it. Let's put it that way. And Maureen still gives it to me during the day, and then she goes, "Have you had?" And she puts a pill dispenser on my desk at work, and she goes, "Have you been taking your pills? Because the pills aren't going down." I said, "I haven't taken any pills." And she goes, "Aren't you troubled with heartburn?" I said, "Not at all. Nope, I haven't had any heartburn, except for I did have a little touch of it the day I had some sausage with my pasta, and it was that time we ate that Brella pasta, the non-bad pasta, right? So, but I don't know. I got to tell you something. I don't go to bed till 11, 12 o'clock, and I get up at 5 or 6, and I got way more energy than I had before, and I feel generally way better than I did before. I still have a lot of aches and pains in my back and stuff like that because I'm, arthritis and bursitis and stuff. But I'll tell you something, and I'm not joking around a little bit. I don't miss the other diet, and I feel better on this diet.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't eat wheat, you're going to feel better. I ate that Barella pasta tonight, and that still goes down hard. It's there's no wheat in it, and there's no GMOs, no gluten, but it still doesn't go down as good as just something much like a steak or chicken or a vegetable. It just doesn't go down the same.
So, Randy, operating in the high-pressure world of operating a world-famous ham radio net, that stress can really kill you, so you definitely have to keep your diet together, that's for sure.
Boy, Russ, I'm glad that you realize how much pressure I'm under every single day.
Well, even the days you don't show up.
Whoa, hold on, no blaspheming allowed in here.
Yeah, it's been tough, especially lately. Although the radical phone calls from Radical Ray have dropped down to almost nothing. Ray's been really, I think he's changed his diet because he's been like the mellow Ray. I haven't had any Radical Ray fights on the telephone lately. About Ray, not with Ray, but about Ray.
Hey, Randy?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate it. That's the only reason we're going to let you stay for a while with that pathetic signal you have.
Hey. I might not have a signal, but I bring something to the table.
Yes, you do. And you got a pretty good signal now, too. Huh? And it's wheat-free. The wheat-free signal from N3RMR.
Yeah, now if only we could get more people to realize that. Well, another interesting development that's here recently just started happening was the attorneys have caught on to the fact that these people are suing Roundup, the makers of Roundup, and people that are using that product, both commercially, agriculturally, and for residential stuff, and they're starting to win some cases against them. So they're setting some interesting precedents in the legal community concerning glyphosate. So this whole thing that we've been discussing might be changing here in the next 5 to 10 years or less.
Or less. Once it starts, it'll just be things that in America, once they start, they just ramp up like, exponentially.
Yeah, that somebody won a real big case against Monsanto. Millions and millions.
I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but that Roundup Ready grain and stuff, the glyphosate usage and all that business is illegal over in Europe.
Yeah, I don't know if I was aware of it or not, but it should be illegal here.
And for the specific reasons that we've all been complaining about our health because of.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat potatoes anymore either if I was any of you. 81 Mountain Whiskey.
Whoa. What do you mean, no potatoes?
Well, years ago, my grandfather grew potatoes, of course, and I grew up picking them, bending over, putting them in a basket and dumping them into burlap bags. That was how I made $1 an hour to buy my first guitar amplifier. But anyway, so the problem here, recent history, we'd have our garden, and 2 fields over, there's 40 acres of potatoes that my mother's cousin's farm harvests, And so every year we'd be infested with the Colorado potato beetle, which was a scourge on the potatoes, and it would eat all the greens and devour them. But they'd crawl over 2 fields and over the couple of stone walls and into my garden and get onto all the eggplant, anything that they'd love to eat. And so we'd have to pick them off and whatever, or tolerate them. But all of a sudden they disappeared. They're gone. No Colorado potato beetle anymore in our garden. And I was talking to my mother's cousin. Hey, what happened? He said, we have a new variety of potatoes. They've been genetically modified to produce a toxin in the leaf that kills the Colorado potato beetle. So, one begs to wonder, if the toxin makes it to the leaf, you would think the toxin probably makes it to the potato, too.
Uh-huh.
Built-in pesticide, huh?
Better living through science.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah, hi, Russ.
Hey, how's it going? You can get rid of a lot of those leaf-eating creatures with a simple mixture of male pouch chewing tobacco and ivory soap.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, that should be fine. I'll have to... tobacco is... they used to sell, I don't know whether you can get it anymore, but for in greenhouses, they'd sell a bomb that was tobacco. It was a nicotine bomb, and it would kill off a lot of insects, that you'd have. And it was pretty safe to get the hell out once you let the thing off and come back after it cleared.
Yeah, my dad used to be able to buy ivory soap in large cakes, like 5-pound cakes, and then he'd buy a bunch of male pouch tobacco and mix it up he had a metal sprayer. He'd mix that stuff up, and then he would strain it out with old tablecloth linen, and then take that juice and spray it all over the potatoes, and it worked like a charm.
Don't you guys have ladybugs?
Yeah, well, we don't have the, we have like Jap beetles come out. We have aphids. We have, what is that little black flea beetle? That's they have a very short season though, flea beetles, and then all your cabbage worms and the moths that come out of that, those kind of things. But that would probably work on the cabbage worms. And,
hey, Bruce,
course,
thanks for sending me that Dollard paper,
just pick them
WG2E. That was interesting.
It doubles with them, Carl.
Oh, Bruce, thanks for sending that Dollard paper there, that PDF. That was interesting.
Oh, good. Glad you liked it. It certainly is interesting. Yeah, and the scope readings were good. Nothing like a good old analog scope. Puts those little digital things to shame.
Yeah, that makes nice pictures.
Boy, am I glad I got my beverage straightened out for this summer now, because, man, if I had to sit here and listen to this on the transmit antenna, I'd go nuts.
I hear you there.
It's even going way high on my weak-ass Kenwood receivers.
Hey,
Men, good evening from Cam to Cam.
Hey, there's the Rainbow Bunker.
Yes, from the Rainbow Bunker in sunny Ithaca, via beverage on the receiving end anyway. Yeah, fortunately.
What's going on, Chris?
I said, how is everybody?
All good in the Toad Harbor hood. Chris, how are you?
Fine, Randy. Good evening. I was away in Virginia for a week, and this week was a slow one getting back on the air.
Hey, hi, Chris. Good to hear you. This is that antenna you helped me put up.
Oh, hey, Doc. I'm glad to hear you're on.
Yeah, great to hear you too, bud. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
How come Doc's got a bigger signal than you, Chris?
A bigger blooming antenna higher up to boot. It was there was a whole team of guys putting it up, so it's got momentum to it.
Be back in a flash. KB2ZVP.
Okay, Randy. How many watts are you running, Doc?
100.
Okay, fair enough. Well, there you go. With 100 watts, you're doing better report-wise than I am, with about 500.
Wow, must be nice. That's all I got. I'm 7,600, barefooted.
Well, Mark says you're doing better than I am, so there you have it.
Well, it's all on account of you guys putting that antenna up so nice for me. That's all.
And here I thought you were running an amplifier all this time.
Who, me? No, I don't got one.
Yeah, you're always nice and big down here, even on the receive antennas.
Well, you got a heck of a signal here, too.
Yeah, but, I can't hear anything according to Ray.
Well, let's see. Mark, on that last transmission, you were about 10 over 9.
What? That's it. I'm taking this junk back.
You're feeding with coax, aren't you?
Well, no, actually, I'm feeding the loop with homebrew, we'll call it Toad Harbor ladder line, but it's not really Toad Harbor certified exact. I've used the insulators that they, said that you should use and all that. I made my own. But anyway, it's a homebrew open wire line. It comes down to a it must be about a 25 foot section of LMR 400 before it goes into the tuner. So I got 60-foot open wire and about 25 foot of LMR.
That explains it, because if the ladder line's not done right, then the RF can't climb up the ladder.
Oh, I forgot to get my little troll. I want to get one of those little trolls and then zip tie it on the ladder line.
There you go.
That'd be kind of cool.
So now you didn't purposely avoid using Toad Harbor line when you could have used it.
Well, I could have went to Tractor Supply and got the insulators and did it all that way, but I already had the PEX tubing and I made it myself, and I already had the wire, and I didn't have to spend a dime. Oh, excuse me. I spent $4. I think I spent $4 because I needed a bag of the DuPont 6066 zip ties to make the the holders on the PEX tubing for the spacer so it would hold the wire correctly. So I spent a little under $4 for zip ties for my homebrew feed line.
Well, that's got to win some award for something anyway.
Well, when I had the stainless steel antenna up compared to this thing, I mean, it was, holy cow. I was impressed.
Right. Okay, can we switch to the subject of food?
Sure, go ahead.
They had avocados really cheap at Aldi's today, or this week. And I was dying to get into them, but I didn't have a really ripe one. It tasted all right, but it was still a little too firm, not creamy. So I mushed it up with a little lemon juice, touch of garlic powder, and then a little dab of red-hot red chilies. And I had that on toast, and it was delicious, all mushed up, nice and creamy.
Oh, yeah, that sounds very, very nice. I like anything with avocados. Guacamole, I'm all in for it. Just sliced thin with a little bit of salt on it, just like that. I'll eat it like that. I put it on salads. I can make creams and sauces out of it, and what you did there sounds great too. So I love anything with avocado.
After I had it, I thought, it'd be really nice. Do that on slices of, toast, some sort of a round Italian or baguette toast, but then have some pre-cooked shrimp on it, and that would add to it.
So you put the shrimp on the avocado on the toast?
I put the creamed avocado, yes, I put a little salt in it too, of course. Then I would put the shrimp on top of that, chilled shrimp.
Ooh, you're making me hungry.
And you get a little protein in there and fatty lipid acids and other good stuff to digest.
Yummy.
So that's my recipe of the day, guys.
I might have to try that.
Yeah, I think put a little of that. You can use Tabasco sauce in there. A little bit of that would give the shrimp an extra touch.
Yeah, I like most of the seafood that I enjoy. I like to have a little bit of Old Bay with it. It gives that little zing.
Exactly.
It brings back the memories of when I was younger at the store.
Well, you could use that cocktail sauce with horseradish in it, too. Throw a little of that into the guacamole.
Where'd Ray go?
Who, the guacamoles?
No. Ray, are you still on there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ray's a cook.
Kind of quiet.
Well, somebody's in here tuning up.
Really? No, I don't hear that.
Yeah, right now, right down on center. Okay, they stopped.
Well, I would prefer if they zero beat when they tune, because half the time these people, they come in here and they tune up and it's like 2 or 3 kcs away from center freak, and it's just, oh my God. And if I'm going remote, I can't come up here and push the beat canceller, so I have to sit there and listen to the whole thing until they get it tuned up.
Well, when you get your new radio, you can just set that thing up and it'll just take it out automatically.
Yeah, but I can't do remote on the new radio.
Who cares?
I enjoy that.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
Randy,
I just saw some lightning out my window. We finally have a visual sign of a thunderstorm that is close to me.
Hello, Randy.
Randy, step down for a minute, Ray.
Oh, he left? Okay.
Not for good. He just said for a minute.
Okay.
We gonna be rocking and rolling.
Hello, Bravo 2 Zulu Victor Papa at the bottom.
10-3 or more.
WG2E.
KC1RS. Yeah, I wonder if Devin's on the air. I guess not. They're having some terrible typhoons over there in India.
Typhoons?
That's what they call them, typhoons.
Monsoons.
No, I thought they said typhoon. What's the difference between a monsoon and a mongoose?
A cyclone, that's what they call it. It's a cyclone or a tornado?
They showed pictures.
A cyclone is what they called it on the news.
It looked bad.
Man, their weather sucks. They've got cyclones, they've got typhoons, they've got monsoons. What the hell?
A cyclone is a hurricane in a different part of the world.
Yeah, at least they haven't got a blizzard.
There's hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones. They're all the same animals, just depending on what part of the world you're in.
Up on the Himalayas, they get snowstorms.
They don't get lift effect snowstorms.
Yeah, how'd you like to be at about 25,000 feet and get into a 100-mile-an-hour wind?
Brr.
That'd be tough on the antenna.
Tough.
So monsoons, I believe, are just directional winds. They're not rotating or anything. And they can have rain or they can be dry.
Yeah, get that in India a lot.
I was watching this thing on, they were hunting for Bigfoot, and they were up at about 13,000 feet, and they were out slowly on their way up to like 14 or 15,000, and I think they were at 14,000, and one of the guys passed out, and he was out cold with that brain swelling. I forgot the exact term for it, but his brain was swelling, and they had to get oxygen on him, and they had to sit up with him during the night. He was unconscious. He started coming around in the morning, and they got him into a helicopter and got him back down to the ground. And that was only at 14,000 feet. And there's people who have actually made Mount Everest without oxygen.
Slowly.
Yeah, you have to live up there for a while to get acclimated to it.
That's right. There's a bunch of people, the Sherpas, the native people that live in high altitude like that. They live up in thin atmosphere their whole life, and not that they're going to climb Everest or anything, but yeah, you got to get. That's no joke, dude. Going up to Everest, there's only a handful of people in the world that have done that.
Hey, I got to tell you, this was a very, very interesting show. They had a geneticist with them, somebody who specializes in DNA and genetics. Beautiful girl too. You know, kind of a. I don't know where she was from. She wasn't from the United States, but she had an accent and everything. But very, very pretty. Very small too. You know, she probably weighed about 100 pounds. Anyway, they got this new DNA stuff they can test. Now listen to this. They're up at like 14,000 feet, and they take this little pump, and they pump it through a filter. They have like just a regular. It looks just about the same as a car filter for a fuel injected car, and except it's clear. And they pump, I don't know, 20 or 30 liters of water out of a pond, mind you, out of a pond and or a river. It doesn't matter. They did it at the river, and then they did it at this pond. And then they put some chemical in there to stabilize that, and then they bring it to the lab, you know, a week or two later, and they can find any DNA that's in that water up to 2 or 3 weeks before. And they did it, and they found every kind of animal or person that was in the area. And they got a DNA sample from this pond at 14,000 feet where allegedly no one lives at all, absolutely no one. And they got a human DNA out of the pond, 99 percentile human. And they were pretty, I don't know if this is just a BS trick that they do to get you interested in watching the show, but if it is true, that basically means that somebody up there, you know, peed in the water, fishes in the water, does something in the water. That's 99% human, which means it could be a variant of a human, say from, you know, 15,000 years ago.
You're going Bigfoot with this, right?
No, because the whole point is that it could the Bigfoot could in fact be like a Cro-Magnon man that they're still around. There's very few of them, but they're still around. You know, it could be these very ancient human beings from 30,000 years ago, and there might be some of them still living.
Seeing more flashes out my window.
Hey, Ray.
A chimpanzee is 97% the DNA of a human being. So that 3% is the difference between a chimpanzee and a human, where this DNA test they found was 99% human. But that still leaves a very large amount that could be different. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there was something in the news the other day. There's India has a military outpost up in the Himalayas, and they routinely see tracks in the snow, and they document it every time of some creature that's not a mountain goat and not a sheep and not a cougar or snow leopard or whatever. They look like people with big feet walking through the snow.
And that's another thing. If they find a track in the snow, and they did this, they found tracks up there, and they take the snow out of the footprint, and they put it into this little jar, and they stabilize it, and then they can DNA test it. And they found out it was this is kind of a sheep, a very large, it's the world's largest sheep that's up there, and they did not even know that sheep existed up there. And the highest altitude animal that they know of is a snow leopard, and the snow leopard goes up to 14,000 feet.
Well, it doesn't go higher because there's nothing to eat up there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's no animals above 14,000 feet that they know of. But just think about it. They can find a track in the snow now, and they can DNA test it and tell what made it.
Pretty good. I had problems once being alone. Everybody's more than enough, I guess, but I was licking envelopes one day at a post office, and some guy ran off with it. And just for a he made someone who was a spitting image of me.
The spitting image of you?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I never lick envelopes. I never lick them. I don't send my DNA all over.
Exactly. You should avoid that.
Actually, just touching an envelope now, they could get your DNA off it.
Well, if you're interested in real snooping stuff, I don't know if anybody's read the Mueller report, but there's a whole section in there on cybersecurity and the techniques used by the Russians to break into the DNC and all that sort of thing. It's fascinating stuff.
What's going to be fascinating is when they start indicting all these criminals that have infiltrated the government and using the government, the CIA, the FBI for political purposes, and they're going to get them. But mark my words, they're going to arrest a whole ton of them.
Well, this has been going on for decades.
But this time they messed with the wrong guy. And this time they were 99.9% sure that Hillary was going to win. So they figured they could do anything they want and she would just cover it up because she was involved in it. But when Trump won, they had to come down on Trump like he was the bad guy. And of course, the New York Times, now listen to this, everybody. This is one of the biggest stories of all times. The New York Times finally admitted that the whole thing was false.
What was false?
That Trump was colluding with the Russians. That they printed it right just within the last day or so. They printed it that whole thing was false and it never happened.
Well, that is one of the more interesting parts of the Mueller report. The term colluding, the legal meaning of it, and all that sort of thing.
They're going to get Comey, they're going to get Brennan, they're going to get Strzok and Page, and they're going to get all those people. They're going to get all of them. There's a whole ton of them, too. There's way more than anybody knows about. They're starting to arrest them now. Several of them have been indicted, the low-level people, and they're going to sweat them and make them talk.
That's how the whole Mueller thing started. Grab the low-ranking guys and squeeze them until they give you the info.
Right, and you know damn well it's going to lead all the way back to the White House.
It could. It definitely could.
It definitely will. Eric Holder and Obama.
Loretta Lynch.
Who?
Loretta Lynch. I'm eating a cracker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's definitely involved in it. They're going to get her, too.
Sally Yates, a whole bunch of them.
But when you read read the Mueller report, you'll see the fine, the fine splitting of hairs with the term collusion, coordination, conspiracy, all of that sort of thing. And then you read, in the first 60 pages, stuff is really very interestingly laid out. And you have to draw your own conclusions because basically Mueller wasn't hired to make a case, just lay out the stuff. At any rate, it's not for a one-night reading, that's for sure. It's a long, drawn-out process. At any rate, we're not dealing with conspiracy theories here. Back to radio from KM2KM in the Rainbow Bunker.
Are you back yet, Randy?
Well, my hat's off to you for reading the report. I don't think I could bring myself to even downloading it. I'm just so sick of this whole process. This is K Delta 1 Mountain Whiskey.
I think you've doubled with Mark, Bruce, but that's okay. Go ahead, Mark.
No. Let me answer Bruce. Bruce, I agree with you 100%. There is no reason whatsoever to download that report and to read any part of it because it's all false, and everybody knows it is. It's a waste of your effort and time.
Well, I beg to differ, Ray. I don't think it's all false.
Well, who can prove what's false and what isn't? I mean, you listen to Nancy Pelosi. It's he lied to Congress and on and on and on. You know, it's if anybody believes, if you just look back at what Nancy Pelosi and Schumer say in the past, and you listen to what they say now, it's polar opposites. So they're just opposite. But if you listen to what Trump said in the 80s, what he said in the 90s, what he says in the 2000s, it's all the same. He hasn't changed. He hasn't flip-flopped. It's just, those people are just evil, just despicable people, and that's all there is to it.
Period.
Well, but the Mueller report doesn't have anything to do with Pelosi.
Yeah, but Mueller, you listen to, what did Mueller say that wasn't true? She's calling him a bull-faced liar, and the only thing that she has on him is the fact that he didn't say what she wanted him to say.
Like Pelosi and the other talking heads, ignore that. Read Mueller's report, and then you can come to your own conclusion.
Listen, I believe fully that Trump was talking to the Russians, and I believe he was, trying to do the best he could do to get elected in this country, and that, things like that happen. But I also know that Obama sat there and said, well, wait till my second term, and then I can help you more. So, it's just, it's how partisan politics work. And I know one thing. Trump is the guy that's making this country a lot better than it was when Obama was in charge. So I'm pretty happy with how business is going, pretty happy with how the unemployment rates are down, and I'm pretty happy with him trying to protect our borders. So, you know what? If he made a couple missteps, I'm okay with that.
Randy.
Yes, David.
I'll bet you can't make them cinder blocks fast enough.
I don't make cinder blocks, pal. Get it through your thick head, will you?
M1SAG.
What the heck is the matter for you?
Isn't fly ash?
I thought I'd just throw that in.
Fly ash is not cinder.
Well, it comes from the same source.
It does, but it's the spent part of coal burning. It's exhaust fume. It's fume. It's fume. F-U-M-E.
Hey, let me ask you this. You know what a pyroplastic flow is, right?
A pyroplastic flow? I'm not so sure I do.
Volcano.
Right, well, when that big pyroplastic flow is coming down the side of the volcano, 100 billion tons of ash and stuff just tumbling down. Could you be out there with a big bucket and catch that and bring it back and make blocks out of it?
I wouldn't be anywhere near it. That's pumice, by the way. I've made a lot of block out of pumice from Mount Vesuvius.
Right, so my whole point is if you can find a good volcano somewhere, you can get all that stuff for free.
Randy, I climbed up that mountain.
In your dreams, old-timer.
I did. I slept on top of Mount Vesuvius. I had lunch up there. My wife and 2 brother-in-laws and 2 sister-in-laws.
Not very bright, is he, Randy?
Not the brightest bulb in the pack.
Couldn't you smell the sulfur, Dave?
Absolutely.
I noticed when he came back from Italy, he was a little bit more punchy than he used to be.
Yeah, a little bit too much sulfur, a little bit too much volcanic gas going up his nostrils.
Couldn't have been the champagne and the wine that we had for lunch.
How much, how much fume load is coming out of that compared with, I don't know, say, Central American volcano that blew up in the 1970s?
Nobody knows. That's the whole thing. But that one, Vesuvius, is going to blow again. And this time when it blows, it's going to kill 10 million people.
Well, Dave, when you were up there, was there a restaurant on the rim?
Yeah, right on the rim, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I wonder what their insurance rate is.
It's just like a little slab shack, Randy. It's very quaint, very nice. You just can't believe yourself.
Does the guy have a fast motorcycle there?
They walk up there. They have everything gets carried up there. There's a certain point where like a Jeep can go up this rugged road, and they have that, so if people have a heart attack, they get up there with that Jeep, they throw you in the Jeep and take you down. That's what our guide told us. But anyway, that's what it's like. And then you get to the top on the rim, it gets steep, and it's just a goat trail with some ropes and things of that nature so you don't fall in. And there's you walk a little stretch, and there's the shack. It's a restaurant.
Ray, the owner's got a zip line. He just straps on and it just bails.
Yeah, but that wouldn't do him the least bit of good, because when he gets to the bottom, you got to be at least 20 miles away from that thing when it goes off. At least 20.
That's where the fast motorcycle comes in.
It's a long zip line.
It better be really long. It better be a rocket-propelled zip line.
He's got a backpack.
That pyroclastic flow? There's been volcanoes down in the South Pacific there, Krakatoa and stuff. It goes across, listen to this, it blew the island up and it came down, the pyroclastic flow came down and literally can go across 20 miles of water to another island and kill everybody.
Boy, Ray, that mind of yours never stops, does it? You think of a lot of things and very diverse. Evening, Katie.
Hey, 2D.
Nobody can quite fathom how dangerous a volcano is. I mean, if a big volcano goes off, you better be at least 100 miles away and headed in the opposite direction as fast as you can go.
Not even.
I want to say it might have been 4 or so years ago when the volcano in Iceland erupted and it disrupted air traffic. England and Europe, there were flights canceled because of the dust cloud that was, 20 miles in the air.
Yeah, and it ruined many jet engines.
Yep. Yeah. So it's the power of those things is amazing.
And there's where our global warming is coming from.
Well, I was at Hill Air Force Base when Mount St. Helens went off, and they had to down they had F-16s there. And it was sandblasting the wing leading edges and ripping up the canopies and the radomes so badly that they had to ground the fleet. And every morning when I got up, there was a quarter of an inch or more of dust, volcanic ash all over my car. Like everything was covered by it, and everybody had to run around wearing dust masks because it was just, a car would go by and it'd just be a cloud.
You know, Russ, when they look at that stuff through a microscope, they look
North
like
Ogden, Utah, and Mount St. Helens,
they're
like
they're
Washington
not round.
State.
They're like tiny little spikes. All they're spheres with these spikes coming out of them and sharp. So they are abrasive, as like you say, in sandblasting, and they will tear up almost any mechanical thing with any kind of velocity that they have. Turbine inlet blades, they just clean them right out.
And how far in miles was Mount St. Helens away from the base?
Oh, it was a few hundred miles. I have to look it up, but it was. It took a couple days for the prevailing wind to carry it through the upper atmosphere before it started descending.
Russ, where's Hill? Is that out in Utah?
Yeah, North Ogden.
Okay, Salt Lake City kind of area, general area?
Yeah, it's a good ways north of Salt Lake City. You had Hill, and then if you went about 30 or 40 miles north of there was Michael Field, and then there was what's her name's had there was a missile testing complex up there too from Morton Thiokol, tested solid boosters and Atlas sections and stuff there.
Yep, okay, yeah, so that's a good poke away from Mount St. Helens.
After we got down off of Vesuvius, we went right through Pompeii. We had a different guide in Pompeii, and I told that guide, I said, our guide up on Vesuvius said it's going to erupt in the future. There's no question about it, and it's going to bury Pompeii again. I said, what do you do about that? She said, we'll have to come back and dig it all out again.
Big vacuum cleaner.
Like I said, you better be at least 100 miles away when that baby goes off.
I meant to send. I got an email from one of my colleagues out, and I thought you guys would be interested because there was an article in it, and it was a scientific paper talking about VLF, LF, and VLF antennas that they were able to work effectively that were 10 centimeters long, and they were doing quantum vibrations, almost atomic vibrations in these things, and they were working effectively rather than being hugely long. So I'll have to, I meant to have, but I just didn't have time, but I'll send it to my home email and send it to you, Randy. You can take a look at it, but pretty freaking interesting.
I'd like to see it.
Bob, what's the big holdup on the 3/8 wave?
Man, you're like a dog with a bone, aren't you? Yeah, well, it's two things, work, weather, and my energy level. So let's do this, Rick. Give me a moratorium until Sunday night, okay? Sunday night, if it isn't up, you can release the hounds on me, okay?
Well, I know how to get some more energy. Stop all your intake of wheat.
I am starting to do that. But I thought you guys were saying, so my substitute grain, I like oatmeal. I think that's okay. But I think I heard you guys last night or the night before talking about corn is also probably heavily genetically modified. Did I hear that?
I would stay away from any grain, any grain at all. I wouldn't eat that pasta like Randy was telling me about. It's rice and corn. Although it has no gluten in it, it's setting heavy in my belly right now because I ate some for dinner tonight. And it still gives you that same kind of effect. The thing you want to eat is, you know what's a really, really good thing to eat? Many years ago, I went on a diet. I'm talking back in the 70s, and I lost probably 40 or 50 pounds. And what I would do is I'd eat just a steak and green beans once a day. Go buy yourself a real top of the line grass-fed. What's that good beef called? What's the good beef?
Angus.
Yeah, Angus.
Grass-fed beef, you know. Go buy a nice tenderloin strip of that, butcher it all up, freeze whatever you need, wrap it in aluminum foil, and just make those steaks. What I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go buy. The trouble is you can't get the good Angus one. Maybe I can at this other store, but you buy the whole strip and you butcher the thing up. You can buy it pretty reasonable. You know, it costs you 15, 16, 18 bucks a pound. You can buy it at Arnold's for about $9 a pound.
So I eat that pasta. I had that a couple times, and I would agree with Ray that it's not something you want to eat all the time. Maybe once a week, not twice a week. Maybe once a week you could have a little bit of that. Don't eat so much of it, but it is pasta and it's a heavy meal. I had a steak last night, and it was probably, it may have been the best steak I've ever had in my life, and I was telling Maureen that it was just delicious. Now I haven't had steak in weeks and weeks, but I had a steak last night that was it was a strip steak of it was an aged steak, some good steak, but it was really, really good. But I got to tell you something, you guys, I'm not joking. I love bread, and I love sandwiches. I eat sandwiches all the time. I love sandwiches, but I've been staying away from it, and I feel terrific. And I don't go to bed till 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and I'm wide awake at 6 in the morning and or 5:30 in the morning, and I'm just like all day long. I have great energy. I feel better than I have in a long, long time. And really, what I've done is stop eating wheat. I eat 4 or so oranges a day. I eat apple a day. I eat grapes every day. I eat berries every day. I eat lots of fruit. I eat carrots every day. I eat vegetables. I've always eaten that, though. That hasn't changed. What I have changed is I've cut back on the red meat, and I've cut back to 0 on the wheat as best I can, and I feel way better than I used to. KB2ZVP at the top.
Right. If we could get Bob to get totally off of wheat and eat the fruit and the meat and the chicken, his antenna would have been up 2 weeks ago.
Exactly right.
Probably would have been, but I love sandwiches, but I've been cutting back, but I'm just gonna have to just let her go here and stay, the gorilla diet with an occasional steak. I had a steak tonight, a nice New York strip steak that slow cooked in a sous vide with rosemary, and then and I got to tell you, it was one I haven't had in a while. It was really good.
I love steak. We barbecue steak here throughout the years, and I just love steak. One of my favorite things that I eat. I could be a vegetarian. I was going to say to Megan when she comes home next week or in a couple weeks, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Meg's a vegetarian. I'm going to tell her I'm almost a vegetarian. I'm just not quite there without the steak, but everything else I have is very vegetarian-esque, but I'm not going to give up a steak once in a while. And I love chicken, and I love pork, and I love turkey.
You ever butcher up one of those chickens out there and eat a fresh chicken?
No, one got shot yesterday, though. The Banny Rooster got shot yesterday, but I didn't get to shoot it.
How did it get shot?
That one on your plate.
He's a little bastard, and he always attacks the girls, and he attacked Michelle yesterday, and I guess a couple times he attacked her, and John just went out and shot it because it's a miserable little cuss.
What did he shoot it with?
What did he shoot it with? I don't know. I know he's got the 9mm. I hope he didn't use that. But I'm not sure. I have no idea. He's got shotguns. He's like I am. He's got all kinds of guns. He's got pistols, too, so who knows what he shot it with, but it's dead.
Sounds like a merciful death for a horny little rooster.
I'll tell you, I was a little disappointed. Now the boy next door, the little kid next door, he came over and he said, and Michelle dropped him off in my lap. I was out working doing some welding, and he said, I got to talk to you. I said, what's up? He goes, you got to shoot the rooster. I said, which one? He goes, the Banny. Or George. No, he wanted me to shoot George. I said, I don't want to shoot George. I like George. He goes, well, then you got to shoot the Banny. I said, why? Well, he's mean. They're attacking us all the time, and I'm trying to teach this kid, don't stand there and scream like a little girl. You know, I said, do you realize how small the rooster is compared to you? You take that club I made for you and just beat him to death with the thing. You know, you throw him a beating a couple times, he's not going to come after you. So anyway, he said, well, I just want you to shoot him. I said, well, I can't shoot him. It's not mine. Your dad has to do that, or else your dad has to ask me to do it. Then I'll do it. But I can't do it without your dad's permission. You know, it's just the way men are. I can't shoot his chicken. He can't shoot my dog. You know, so. It turns out that he wound up shooting the thing anyway. He's just a miserable little thing, and he needed to go. He really doesn't deserve to be on this earth. He's just a miserable little maggot of an animal.
Sounds like Nancy Pelosi. So he was going after people. When you said Michelle, I thought that was the name of a chicken. So he was actually going after people?
Yeah, he goes after the little boy next door, goes after the girl. The girl's a stripper next door. She's a stripper. Her name is Michelle, and he was going after her, and you know, and they used to go after Maureen, but they've learned their lesson not to do that.
Wait, you have a stripper next door? You didn't tell me that. I'd have been out there 2 weeks ago. The heck with the 3/8 wave antenna.
You should have. We had a pole dancer across the road when I lived up in Rochester, and we got a redheaded stripper here next door.
I wish I had Gable. I would personally bring Gable up here. That chicken would only chase one more person.
What a diverse neighborhood you live in, Randy.
I always have. You know, it's a funny thing. Here's a story. So I'm going to tell a story. When we moved up to, when I had first gotten a divorce, I moved out to Rochester. We moved out to Rochester. I was divorced. Maureen was divorced. We were together. Second time, you know, and I hate having a girlfriend. Okay, I like being married. I'm a guy that likes to be married. And I feel proud of myself. I'm married and all these things. So anyway, we weren't married yet because I'm not even sure if my divorce was final. Was it at that time? I think it was. Yes, it was. Yeah, I had been divorced.
Wall Road.
Yeah. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, we pull into this place, into this house that I'm renting. It's half of a house. We got the people that own it live in one half, and we live in the second half. And we pull in with a U-Haul, and I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, you know, here we are. And here comes who came first? Was it Ron? It was Ron. Ron came over and he said, hey, how you doing? I live across the way over there. I said, hi, I'm Randy. This is my girlfriend, Maureen, my significant other. You know, we're shacking up together, right? So I just never liked that. So anyway, we're moving stuff in. Hey, can we give you a hand? And I said, well, that'd be great, thanks. You don't have to, but we can. You know, we're good at moving. We've done it a lot, and we joke around about, well, how come you move so much? Well, the cops are the law keeps chasing after us, and we keep moving away. So anyway, he's laughing. We comes over, and the next thing you know, here comes Paul. Another guy comes over and I say, hey, how you doing? He goes, hey, I'm Paul. Nice to meet you. And Ron says, Randy, this is my significant other, Paul. I said, oh, wow, okay, Paul, nice to meet you. And then now at this time, I'm happy to have the help, right? So they're moving. So then here comes this little old lady across there, Mrs. What's her name? Miss Donna from across the way. And Miss Donna from Wall Road has keys to everybody's house, and she takes care of everything on that road. So hi, Donna, nice to meet you, and this is my girlfriend, Maureen, and I'm Randy, and I guess you know Paul and Ron. Yeah, we know. So then here comes this lady across the way, and what was her name? Carol, James Brown's wife. James Brown's girl. Yeah, so Carol. And then, hi, Carol, I'm Randy. This is Maureen. And then we got Ron, and we got Paul, and we got Mrs. Donna there. So then she wants, you guys need anything? We can help you out. Here comes this great big black man, comes over. Hey, this is who the guy I live with. This is James Brown. James Brown of James Brown Diner. Hey, James Brown, nice to meet you. And next thing you know, we got this purple-haired girl comes over, and she's living with this other girl named Jessica. And I'm like, holy hell, we fit right in. And I thought we were going to be a little bit the weird ones, but we had the gay guys, we had the gay girls, we had the black guy and the white girl, we had Mrs. Donna who had keys to everybody's house, and it was us. And we had the best time living there. And then we actually moved from there to Wall Road, right? Wall Road, where we had the pole dancer living next door.
Well, I'm rooting for the rooster.
We have George next door. He's the big rooster. He's not so bad. He used to attack everybody, but a couple of beatings made him decide that we weren't worth attacking.
You mean to tell me that your trusty dog would watch Maureen be attacked by that rooster and wouldn't go after him?
Oh, there's no way at all. There's no way at all that he would watch that. He doesn't bother the rooster doesn't bother him. But when the little boy came over, he was gone for 2 weeks, and we were taking care of him, so George was over here. And the little boy got attacked by the rooster, and he was standing there screaming like a little girl. And, boy, Bromley mowed that rooster over. He just grabbed him and flopped him over. You know, Bromley will not put up with anybody bothering that little boy, or even Michelle next door. He would attack if somebody was bothering her, and especially if somebody was attacking Maureen, they're going to get, everything that Bromley has to offer.
Well, I mean, like my dog would have grabbed him. I mean, I know what my dog would have done to that thing. He would have grabbed him around the neck and shook him until he was dead.
Yeah, Bromley won't do that. No, Bromley just runs him right over, knocks him down, and stands between the rooster and the boy. He's not going to kill the rooster because he's not supposed to. But he'll I've shot a squirrel that fell out of the tree, and he'll grab that and shake the hell out of that. But he's not a killer. But don't mess with anything that he feels shouldn't get messed with, because then you will get bit or attacked or whatever.
Well, after he knocks the rooster down, does the rooster come after him?
Oh, no, the rooster runs off squawking.
Oh, okay, because I was just going to say, because if the rooster decided to go after him, then, whatever.
Yeah, no, he'd kill him at that point. There'd be no second chance.
Okay, I'm just looking how much compression I have when my thing's on high. It goes up to 10.
No, stop it. It's too much.
Compression. I got to put my compression meter on. My compression, when I'm talking along, which one is the compression? Oh, the blue line. Okay. Mine goes to maybe, 1 or 2. It moves a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just checking when I put it on high. It's about 5 dB. Right now I'm looking at the compression. It's averaging about 5. When I put it on that high setting, it averages 10.
Let's look at ALC. ALC moves up pretty good. Where's the ALC line? It's, I guess here, right there. ALC. Yeah, I'm moving up. I'm not anywhere near the red, but if I push it to compression, it doesn't do anything hardly at all. Really, so if I bring the compression all the way up, that'll bring up, then I'll move up a little bit more. But anyway, whatever. I keep mine pretty well down, so I don't even hardly move on compression.
Yeah, I don't see why when I put it on high, it's so run together, because it's really only 10 dB of compression.
Well, it's a very inferior, output of that. And it's a 12 volt. That's a 12 volt radio, Ray.
Yes, but it's a very linear 12 volt radio. It's pretty much as close as you can get to a high voltage transmitter.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. You're right. It's pretty close. I mean, it's kind of close.
Hey, I'm going to get out of here in case I have to get up early tomorrow, depending on how the weather's looking. So we'll see all you guys later. WG2E.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Hi, Carl.
Why don't you give Carl a direct order, since he's just a private or a corporal, and have him come over and put your antenna up?
Nobody touches my antenna but me, but thanks anyway. Carl's offered, Randy's offered, folks have offered, so anyway, night, Carl. It looks like you should be all right tomorrow. It'll rain tonight, but just cloudy, I think, tomorrow, it says.
Hey, Carl. Yes, sir. he has no idea of what he's turning away, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Two old guys trying to get wires in the trees.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I've got a cannon here that can shoot a tennis ball farther than an A1 Abrams tank can shoot one of their, whatever you call that thing.
Yeah, that's good because that's what I got. I got a line launcher, so I just got to get the monofilament tomorrow, and so my plan was to get the line across the tree tomorrow and see how that goes, but I've given myself till Sunday, so we'll see. Anyway, have a good one, Carl, and KT2.
The best launcher I've ever used is my Slingshot, is a wrist rocket with a golf ball. Let me tell you something. That's a formidable weapon. That would probably take out a Bigfoot if you could get them just right. That's a formidable launcher right there. That Slingshot, the wrist rocket with a golf ball in it.
Yeah. Have you ever launched a marble with it?
I haven't. I've launched steel bearing balls, like half-inch steel balls, and let me tell you something. That would certainly kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, if you get access to steel balls like that, you basically solid shot there. Wow. Better be careful. New York will ban it, but we're probably breaking the law just talking about it.
I'm sure we are.
No, if it's not powered by some kind of a chemical explosive, it's not a firearm.
Well, not for New York yet. I mean, there's nothing that's out of bands for the New York lawmakers.
Now, King Cuomo II has his henchmen out listening to us right now and drafting the governor's order that he'll ram through midnight tonight, and by tomorrow they'll be illegal. Alpha Charlie 2,
Yankee India.
Roger, Alpha Charlie 2, Yankee India. Who we got out there tonight, over?
All good in the Toad Harbor Hood. How have you been? Well, if it was in the wintertime, you'd be way better because the storms are so strong tonight. But you're over S9, I guess, close to 10 tonight. I lost what you said. How are things in Toad City? All good in the Toad Harbor Hood, pal. No, north of Syracuse, a little bit north of Syracuse, northwestern shore of Oneida Lake. Oh, that's okay. As long as you didn't think I was in Wilbraham, Mass, I'm okay with it. You're up north, right? Up like Lake George or something, or more north of that? Yeah, Whitehall. Okay, I was just doubling with you. Sorry, I asked if you were up north. I thought you were up there someplace, but Whitehall, up there by Lake George. We've had a quarter of inch of rain today. Not a great deal of it, but pretty. It was a little bit drizzly, I guess, just about all day, and then it would rain a little bit and go back to being drizzle. It's just a wet day. Yeah, some of the other guys are saying they had quite a bit of rain. Let's let the other guys say hi to you, Brian. Stand by a little bit. Who else is here? Brian that could give me a signal report from his remote station there.
Yeah, he's S9 here, NSAG.
It's KT2D Bob and Latham near Albany. You're about an between S7 and S8 here.
Well, it's not quiet here. If it's quiet there, your antenna probably has some issues. Well, I guess I have about an S6 noise level, but the static crashes shoot right up to 10 to 20 over to me. I'm not sure how about the other guy, how they are. And you're way up there up north, so you're off the beaten path a little bit, I'm sure. Yeah, this is Randy. Randy is my name, and I'm Kilo Bravo 2 Zulu Victor Papa, KB2ZVP. And I'll let the other guys go around and introduce themselves. Go ahead, Tootie. Give your call to Brian.
Yeah, Brian, it's Bob, and it's Kilo Tango 2 Delta. It's a tough one. Once again, Kilo Tango 2 Delta, KT2D.
Yeah, is he talking to me? N1SAG, Dave in Connecticut, over. Roger, yes, N1SAG, November 1, Sierra Alpha Golf. November 1, Sierra Alpha Golf, over. Is this the guy with the Drake radio? No. Oh, okay, Roger, on the flex. Okay, Roger.
Jamie has the Drake out in, Wisconsin.
Okay, Roger that.
Good evening, K1 Adam, Henry Adam.
Hello, Dick. Wow, you've got actually a pretty strong signal tonight.
Thank you very much.
What did you do?
I took the 9-to-1 out, the 9-to-1 balance, and I put a 4-to-1 in. Maybe it's better.
You're way better than you have been lately. Lately you've been hard to hear, but tonight no sweat.
Well, 25 over there, Randy. You're doing good. And I heard the other guy in there, but it was kind of high-pitched to me. But anyway, and then we got the static in there, and that's not too good. But we are picking you up, and I'm picking up Ray when he was in there. He was barreling in as usual. And Dave down in Connecticut is doing very well also. You're all doing good.
processor on there, Dick. N1SAG. You sound good 10 over here in Connecticut.
Yeah, never shut that thing off.
Okay, Dick, thanks.
He's running the big amp.
The Toad Harbor, the one and only. Well, you want to see the difference in headlights now. It looks like mine has a dead battery compared to them new lights in Gary's amp.
Have you switched to that amp yet? Have you turned it on and switched to it and put some power out through it?
Yeah. Well, when we first brought it home, we powered it up and talked through it. Remember, I talked to you on it. Right now, it's just a quick wired up to the 240 supply, and I'll have to shut it off and secure wire it. I just have it with a dummy load on it, and so I can test them lights. But I'll hook it back up probably tomorrow. I'll have time. And I told him I'm going to talk on it for him, and give it a good whooping. Over.
Yeah, you got to put a pounding on the thing. Make sure it's Toad Harbor worthy.
Roger that.
Hey, Brian, do you have any kind of an amplifier up there for 160?
Negative. No, I don't have any amp tray at the moment. I had to. This is my first radio. I kind of went whole hog. I got this set up here. My radio sport. Here's my TV. Then I got the mic up too. So I can early. Close to 3 and so far. And I got the meter radio coming here. Another day for Venus and DMR too.
Yeah, well, you need an amplifier. That's for sure. If you're going to be on 160, you got to have an amp. And I know $6,000 sounds like a lot, but that's enough for a good amp.
Oh, Roger. Flex has got an amp that they make. It's got an automatic switcher. It's a tuner in it too, I think. And it's a 2K. Well, it's 2K peak, but it's 1.5 continuous. Well, right around $7,000 for that one. I don't know if that's a good price or not. Some prices, maybe. I don't know.
That's the worst amp ever built, that Flex amplifier. I don't think they are selling them right now. I think they took them all back. They were a colossal flop. Don't buy that if you're looking for an amp. There's many out there way better than that. That's for sure. And way less money too. You can pick up an amp like Dave's running over there for, $1,800, $1,700, and that's a great amp. There's all kinds of used amps out there that you don't have to break the bank for. You got to get to your first kilowatt. If you want a solid state amp, there's only one to look at, and that's the Palstar. That Palstar solid state amp. That's a great amp. But I don't know. If I were you, I would stay as far from that Flex radio amplifier as humanly possible.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I didn't know they was having a big problem. I knew they had them. Well, they just started making them last year, I think. They weren't making them before. They just started what not to work out, I guess.
Yeah, there's many amps out there. I'll shut my amp off so you can hear the difference of a 100-watt rig with and without an amp on 160. You ready? And I guess you're ready. So here's this is the rig with the amplifier turned on, and let me just reach over here. This is a 100-watt rig here. 100-watt rig with good audio and good compression and all that stuff. Lots of heavy audio. So here's the rig with 100 watts, and I'll switch the amp back on. And now this is the rig now with the amplifier turned back on. KB2ZVP.
Holy cow.
What a difference.
Whoa, Nelly. Yeah, really? That's a big difference.
Well, that's the difference of what you would sound like with an amp on and an amp off.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, I didn't know it would make that quite that much, but yeah.
Doc, did it make a difference to you?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it was unbelievable, Randy.
I know it's a little difference.
Hello, is that Gary down there in Binghamton?
Yes, sir. It's his eye. I noticed you went from 10 over to 11 over with the amp on.
I love being 11 over, buddy.
Yeah, you went up about a couple dBs there. Sounded a little bit better with the amp on for sure.
Should have been like 3.5 dB, right?
Yeah, something like that. Wasn't quite that much, but you were doing pretty good barefoot.
Probably Ray heard a difference.
Well, down here, this is cam 2 cam in Ithaca. You went from 5/9 to 20 over 9. Randy, nice difference.
Oh, come on, Chris. Don't be so generous.
Oh, well, I'm just looking at the dumb bar graph here.
Yeah, it was about the same for me, too.
10 over to 40 over here, Randy.
I love that radio you got, Dave.
No, I'm serious. I'm not pulling your leg either. 10 over without it, and 40 over with it.
That was with 100 watts of drive, no compression change or drive gain or anything different. That was 100 watts versus the amp on.
Here's 50% exciter power, and now here's the amp on.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Got Toad Harbor tubes and everything.
Toad Harbor tubes. Hear that, Chris? He's got Toad Harbor tubes.
Those are good tubes, mister, right there.
Sign up for the glass mouth blowing that goes with it. I'm using 500 watts right now, and I'll turn off the amp. Okay, this is 100 watts. 100 watts from sunny Ithaca. 500 watts from sunny Ithaca. How much difference do you both think?
Nothing.
You go from about 10 over S9 to a little over 20 over S9. It's a huge difference for a 500 watt amp.
S9 to 20 over.
I didn't see a difference.
Gary, buddy, I love you, but, it doesn't matter because you're running a flex, so, I'm not so sure you would see a difference.
I'm going to record it. Good evening, N2 After Whiskey, Mike in the group.
Where's Mickey tonight?
Good evening.
Where's Mickey?
She's busy. She's on the internet there. She's busy typing her resume.
Resume? Come on, Mickey. Hey, but make sure you write down you've got the Toad Harbor endorsement.
Good. They can all call you for a reference then.
Have whomever you want call me, but just, probably should do it before late at night.
She concurs.
Before you have as many glasses of wine as I do.
Yeah, Friday nights and Saturday nights are my nights that I allow myself to have a little bit of wine. So probably better to call me on a Wednesday or ask for a reference on a Wednesday.
Wednesday's Wine Down Wednesday.
That's right. Duly noted as well.
But that's the hump day.
That's what gets you over the hump. Mr. Randy, what is my signal, how do you say that? My signal up to you this evening?
What language are you trying to speak?
That one of you call the signal.
Signal. It's not that hard. Come on, man. Signal.
Yeah, that's it. It's like paisano.
If you got good batteries, your signal will be right up there.
Yeah, your batteries, help the signal be strong. But you're like 20 over to me. You're up. Well, the band is a little bit weird. We got some wonky stuff going on. But a minute ago you were 30 over, and right at the minute you're 20 over.
The signal. Well, I heard you say that last night there, and I just I had to throw that in there. But all right. So I guess do I got to turn the amplifier on?
If you've got one, I would. I mean, Dave's like 35 or 40 over, and you're 20, and you're 12 miles away, and he's 3,000 miles away. So it's apparently that his signal is way better than yours.
All right. And 2 Echo Whiskey, Mike. I hope I'm getting ahead of Dave now.
Jesus, from 20 over to almost 40 over here.
And that's from 40 watts to 600 watts.
They can hear you on 1950.
They probably are. Richie's probably answering me back.
It's a big difference here.
The only difference between you and Lightning is yours goes up and down a little bit, and Lightning just goes straight across.
I'm like that. What do they call that? That sheet lightning?
E-lightning. That's right.
I don't know if it's pronounced quite that way.
Come on, Russ. Give me a break. It's Friday.
Anybody here from Tom?
He's in the hot tub.
Good for him.
Wish I were.
I was thinking I'd get in a hot tub. Not a big one, though. I don't want parties, I just want to go out there and soak,
It's called the freaking bathtub. Go in the bathtub, Dave.
No, I want them outside on the deck in the night, in the moonlight.
Under the stars, right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Well, drive around town and look for one of those clawfoot cast iron jobs and put a fire beneath it, and you'll be all set.
The hillbilly heater.
You'd be like that Vitalis. What's that commercial with the guy and the girl? I know I didn't say it right. What is that? That commercial? The man and a woman holding hands in the bathtubs?
Yeah, Cialis.
Oh, Cialis.
Just like Vitalis, but a little different.
It's that with a C. It's with a C. That was pretty good.
What's Vitalis, right? That was something that you put in your hair, right? When that was your dad used when we were kids. The dads used Vitalis.
I used Brill Cream.
Brill Cream, just a little dab will do you.
I don't use any Brill Cream. Well, you guys probably can figure out why.
Well, you could use turtle wax.
I use turtle wax. That's right. Brian, do you think they're going to be as interesting as we are? Well, you can come back anytime you want. 73 and enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay, guys. 73. Take care.
It's 73's, Brian.
Yeah, Brian sounds good on that Flex radio. He just needs a little bit more woof.
Yeah, he could pick up an AL82 if he's strong enough.
Where is Ray tonight?
Randy?
Yeah, Dick.
When you were running the 100 watts, and then you went to 30 over,
Well, I am running the big amp. Oops, I'm running the big amp tonight, Dick. So it's I'm doing all I can.
Well, you got the big amp. Well, I don't know, but it sounds real good. It's strong as heck over
extra drive and probably a little bit more miking than I normally would, just because of the static that's out there, you know. Very good, Dick. KB2ZVP.
And to Echo Whiskey Mike. Is Dick coming to the summit next month?
Dick, are you coming to the summit next month?
I don't know if that was a question for me or not.
Well, is your name Dick? And the question was, Dick, are you coming to the summit next month?
He wants to know if you're coming to the Toad Harbor Summit next month. Okay, he says he's not sure, Randy, but he's thinking about it, I guess. But he said every day's a struggle to drive far. Over.
Yep, I can hear him. Okay, very good. Well, if you can make it, Dick, it would be wonderful to have you come by.
I thought it was down in that neck of the woods.
By Boston.
Oh.
Okay, Dick. All right. You're getting a lot of lightning crashes up there. You said we're getting the same here, Dick, but we're still here. Everybody's still hearing you down here. Over. Really bad lightning.
Yeah, it's getting rough. To be a pretty rough copy. You were stronger a minute ago, Dick. I'm not sure what happened, but it kind of took a fade or something. Be back in a second. I've got to head down the hall to that little room. You know the one. KB2ZVP.
Echo Whiskey Mike on the 40.
And 2KM. I've got to bow out, guys. Have a great evening.
I heard that. And,
good night, Chris. Good to hear you in there.
Night, Chris.
Okay, Chris, 73.
I find out where it's at. Somewhere just outside of Connecticut, I think, in New York there. I think so. Anyway. Oh, boy. What would it be?
He's still talking.
Or just one day? K1 Adam, Henry Adam.
Yeah, it's going to be just one day. Well, it's overnight. They got a hotel they're all staying at. Over.
Okay, it's a one-day thing in a hotel, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, but I would love to. One if it was just down the road, we would be there. No problem. Oh boy, yeah. Because that would be a real nice thing to meet you guys. Yep, it sure would. K180.
Okay, Dick. Yeah, I went last year to the across the Hudson there in the park, and I didn't stay over. I just went for the day. I stayed for an hour or two, had a couple burgers and some white hot dogs with Ray, and then I drove back home. But you know, I'm probably only an hour, a little more than an hour away from here. Over.
Yeah, okay, I'm an hour away. Boy, that's all right. Probably 3, maybe 4 hours. We went to my grandson's wedding in Saugerties, New York, and nice quiet little town there, and it was good. That was quite a trip, and we planned for it a long time, you know. That was back in September, the 22nd of September. Yeah, nice, that was a good one, a beautiful day. We had a good trip down, that was awesome. We had a good time there. But, anyways, yeah, we would like to be there, that's for sure. I know I would. My wife's not a ham. She's just, you know, she could care less, you know, but I love it. It's, I've been in it since I was 16, and I'm 79 now, so, you know, I'm going to stick with it to the end. K1AHA.
Roger. Well, if you can't make it, you're going to certainly be able to pick up the highlights and all the goings on. But all right, Dick. Well, you know, just I wouldn't worry too much about getting there. It's probably a good 3-hour ride from up there near Beantown. That's for sure. N1SAG.
Get up on 495, I think, and then 90, you know. And you're in Connecticut, so yeah, you're a little bit closer. You're a little bit closer to them than I am. I'm out here by, you know, New Bedford, Massachusetts, Dartmouth. Dartmouth is where I am, and you know, I was born up in Fall River. That's about 15 miles west of me. And we're out here near New Bedford, Massachusetts now. The Whaling City, they call it. We got UMass Dartmouth over here, a few miles away, and that's where we are, down here in south of Boston. Yep. And, oh well, yeah, I would love to be over there, that's for sure. And even if it is, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours, and then coming back, that'd be all right. It'd be a memory, you know, and red stone kind of thing, you know, really nice, permanent thing. Anyways, let's see, what was it, N1, I think, N1SAG, K1AHA.
Roger, Rick, Dick, Roger that. Yeah, I went up through the backwoods, up through Hudson, New York. TomTom, I had the TomTom Navigator, got me to the park. And after Hudson, it dragged me all through the hills, up through farm country in New York State, and across the river there. But was it, like I say, only about an hour's trip from here, maybe an hour and a quarter. Over.
Yeah, okay, fine business on that, Dave. Yeah, about an hour trip. Wow, that's pretty good. And cross country, that's good. I would do that, but she likes to stay on the big roads, you know, the ones that she's familiar with. But, yeah, I don't mind. The roads to me, I can get on a road and I would go from point A to point B, you know, where it is if I can do it, you know. But, anyway, yeah. Wow, your signal good. I don't miss a trick on yours. If the lightning's there, but it's coming right through.
Okay, Dick. Yeah, Roger. Yeah. That's a dipole. That's what I'm running here, dipole. I only do 160 and 160, 60, and 20. Those are the only three bands I cover here. Over.
Oh, okay. 60 and 20 and 60. Very good. We can go on all the bands. I think one of the bands, like 15 meters, I got a 2-to-1 on there, but hey, it doesn't at me on my 857, so I can bet what I do. And but I like to keep it under 2-to-1. And everything's working pretty good. I made myself a 10-meter box, two-element, and the last week or so I made a 6-meter, and it's about 15, maybe 17 feet above the ground, and the 10-meter box in it about maybe 12 to 14 feet above the ground, just below the other center, and it's rotatable, it's two-element, and we have a net every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 meters on 28490. So we get on there. We're on there with about 6 guys locally tonight, and we usually have about 6, and that's good. 6 or 7 people. We go about an hour.
Echo us to Mike. Be right back.
Roger.
So the boxing works good for me, and I can set it, kind of leave it, and cover 3 or 4 guys in the same direction, It's kind of wide, one-banded type of thing, That was good. It's not too good. Back to J1AJ.
Okay, Roger. The Maxim on the rotor and the 10-meter Q cells going on. All right. Well, I haven't been listening on 10 for a while here. I can listen there. I don't have an antenna for 10, but and I don't run a tuner, so I run just resonant dipoles here. But very good. There's some activity on 10. And did you say that Maxim tunes up on 6 meters? Over.
Yeah, I got a 6-meter box, and I just made one. I just put one together and put a 2-element box in for 6 meters. It's about 7 feet long and about 33 inches wide. Just under 3 feet wide and about just under 7 or 8 feet long. And it works pretty good. Well, it blows up nice. Play that way. Sunday there's a couple of guys who are going to get on around 7 Sunday night, I think. And if I remember, I'll turn it on and turn on the radio and see if I can get them on it. They're only about maybe, let's see, I don't know, maybe 10 miles away from me, 10 to 15 miles. So I should be and on 6 meters upper sideband. Around 53, 200, I think is where they operate. So I asked them yesterday, and we get off around 7 o'clock or so. 7:30 on 6 meters on Sunday. So I'll try that one. And we'll see how I think that's what we're doing, right?
Okay, so early Sunday mornings then they're on 6, they're on .4. Okay, roger that.
Yeah, we got the 10-meter Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's 28490. When that's at night, that's 8 p.m., and about 9 and we round and all that stuff, my height. We talk about all kinds of stuff. I do the net on Tuesday night, and the guy in Freetown, 2 guys in Freetown, does it on Wednesday, and the other guy does it on Tuesday. And of course, if they're not around, they got a meeting or something, they go and find a band involved.
Roger. Yeah, well, that's good to have a net and have everybody take turns running the thing, and it's good to have nets. I check in a lot on a couple nets on 20 meters, as a matter of fact, but Today I stayed in. It was kind of rainy here, and I came down and worked 20 meters a little bit today. But yeah, I'll have to listen in for you guys on 10, and for sure early in the morning on 6 I can probably listen in and get something there on 6 on Sunday mornings. That'd be interesting. Well, okay, Dick, I'm going to pull the plug here myself. Maybe Randy's back by now, and Gary and a few others that are in here, and I'll let them take over. So 73's Dick. Nice to hear from you. Sounding good. The 4-to-1 balance working. I'm thinking maybe better. It's very clear, nice clear audio. And again, 73's for the night. And we'll catch you again maybe tomorrow. N1SAG. Good night, everybody.
Good night, David. KB2's MVP.
Threes, Dave.
Roger.
What's your static sound like down there tonight, Gary?
I was just going to mention, boy, it's getting loud. Pushing 15 over.
Yeah, it's nasty here. Sometimes it's over 20, so it's up and down, but a lot of times it's pretty strong.
Wasn't bad when I first got on here, but the past 10-15 minutes, it's really climbing.
Yeah, I agree.
Nikki wants to know if you're gardening tomorrow.
I am. Does she want to see my outfit? Maureen took a picture of me tonight, all ready to go. I could send you pictures.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
She sent it to her girlfriend. The girlfriend said it's going to be a bumper crop.
She's slapping her knees. And grabbing her seat at the same time.
It's a clean picture, don't worry.
Randy, you in there? Hey, Randy, it's 7-3, so I gotta go upstairs, okay? One and all, everybody up there on 160. The famous Code Harbor Net night. See you tomorrow night, all right? See you 1 Adam and 3 Adam. 7-3.
You bet. Good night, Dick. 73. Sleep well.
Good night. How you heard you, man? Good night.
Good night, Dick, from N2 Echo Whiskey Mike in Binghamton, New York.
Yeah, I'm going to go to. Good night, guys. Have a good one. We'll see y'all tomorrow. 73 from WA2ES.
Yeah, good night, peepers. See you tomorrow.
The doctor is in the house. Not anymore, though.
Hey, Doc, before you go, it's Bruce.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, look in your mailbox, because I did send you an envelope full of seeds. Over?
All righty. I'll go check that tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Okay, if the post office does their job, it should get there. So take 7-3s. Good luck with them. KD1 Mountain Whiskey.
Are they heirloom?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a perfect spot for them, too, man. I'm excited. So's Mama. I just want to eat them. She's going to cook them and plan them and all that stuff.
Hell, if Mama's happy, everybody's happy.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And them peepers are really singing big tonight.
We can hear them.
Good microphone.
Good evening, Randy, NADAZ.
Hey, Walt, how are you?
Just thought I'd jump in real quick here, getting ready to go up to 33, but thought I'd jump in and say, well, see how you doing.
Okay, buddy. Well, good to hear you. It's a noisy night, but you're coming through.
Who's that, Western Walt?
That's Walt out in Michigan.
Yep, Western Walt. Good evening.
Yeah, I think it was Mike also in there too with Fran, I'm not sure, but both signals about the same. They're both coming through all the noise, and it's filtered and locked up Fort Knox, but everything I can throw at it to keep it quiet, and it's still noisy, so it's gonna be a tough one, I think, for my teams are doing, especially the ones that are trying to win a bit, but that's going to be a toughie tonight, I think, so I just thought we'd jump in and say hello, any day easy.
You're hearing the guys from the Toad Harbor net okay, aren't you?
Yeah, no problem copying you guys, you're there.
Hear that, Gary, we're there.
Walt, can you say that again?
You're above the noise, positively.
I don't think he's hearing you very well, Gary.
I don't think he is. I think Walt needs a new antenna.
I think Walt needs a few more things besides that, but yeah, I would agree with that, Gary. This one is looking kind of thick where it's at right now. I do have to make adjustments before the leaves get on the tree, or I'll never get it back on that. So something's going to change pretty soon. I don't know what.
I'll stick with the first one there, Randy. There, but yeah, indeed, there. Yeah, he did. He gave us first up there, so I think I got that recorded. I got to go back through the archives.
I'm gonna jump out Randy a minute to go to be up there for the other frequency, so we'll talk on 73s, and God bless everybody. I'll catch you next time. KB2 ZBP and the group 8AZ.
Good night, Walt, 73.
Good night, Walt. N2 Echo Whiskey Mike at the top. You know what, Randy?
What's that?
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Because he won't be able to talk to anybody else but us.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Come on.
Yep, because he won't be able to hear anybody else.
Oh, there's a couple of guys out there that can put out a signal. Don't you worry. We're not the only ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, but they only come out on, what is it, June 24th this year? And I'm going to duly note that there as well there because, yeah, that's every year there we go through this, and we just went through it last year there. It's like all these big guys here on this band there. No one's in here to join us weekly there, but when it comes contest season, they come out of the woodwork there, and they have fantastic signals. So signal knows. So where are they now?
Well, that's right. Well, a lot of people just give up because the band's so stinking noisy, you know?
Yeah, I agree, but yeah, it is getting loud. It's right up there, 15 now. What have they, is there storms in that prediction?
I I guess. I don't know. We've got some storms around us, but this is just, summertime stuff. It's like this, and it gets a lot worse than this. I've been on here through years of summers where, the low noise level is 10 over S9, and we don't start talking about it until it's to be 20 or 30, So you're basically running your amps full bore and compression cranked and audio cranked, and you just give it what you got, I don't think 5,000 watts would be enough.
No, it gets really tough. Really, really, really tough. I might have to do a little amp shopping once the boat's paid off.
There's some DX77s out there and SXs as well. Or DX77, 77DXs and SXs. The SXs would be the one to get. But you've got to be willing to spend $6,000 or something,
I know. The hard thing is, though, when the boat's paid out there, then we're going to want a bigger boat.
Well, I don't think you need a bigger boat.
Well, I said that about amplifiers there, and you never thought you'd need a bigger amplifier, right?
Well, there's no such thing as an amplifier big enough, but a 50-foot boat is big enough.
I just got to find an antenna that I can put on that boat so I can at least talk to you so you can relay for me.
IQ, baby. Just don't use it in the wintertime. That's all. That's the perfect vessel for a IQ antenna.
And you got one in bits and pieces in your basement, right?
I do. I have one that I used in the wintertime one time, and one time in the bad weather that screwed up. But I've got another new one down there that I'm putting together now, so I'll have that on this weekend.
It would be interesting to try that, that lake being down in such a hole. So I don't know if it would be. I'd be lucky to at least talk to you.
You would get to me, Paul. You would get probably out to Ray and those guys, probably in good shape. You could, but there's no reason why you couldn't build a coil to put on that boat. Certainly, if you wanted to work 60 meters, just use a Hustler. For $49, you can buy a Hustler resonator and the pole, and you could work 60 meters, or go buy a bunch of fire sticks or ham sticks, whatever they call them. And they work well for 40 meters and 60 meters, and you could probably get a signal out on 75. They're not great for this band, for sure, but in the summertime, doesn't matter how good your mobile antenna is. When you got lightning crashes at 20 and 10 and 20 over S9, your mobile signal's not going to be big enough.
Well, that thing, just to say, that thing I've got on there right now, I can work all the high bands there. But as far as just trying to communicate with you guys at night, every evening there, I don't have anything that, like I say, I had the coat hanger out there and I was screaming as loud as I could there. I probably should have just screamed outside the boat and you would have heard me. But like I say, there's nothing that I could do to talk to you, but I could talk on all the other bands there with that thing I've got there already. That I can't remember what the hell it's even called, but it's definitely it's not a work of art, but I have made pretty good contacts on 40 and 17 meters across the pond with it, just barefoot there. But it's nothing to slouch about for 80 meters in this band. But if I could at least talk to you, or because I can hear everybody, with that antenna, but I can't talk to anybody. But if I can at least talk to you, I would be I'd be good with that,
Better off sticking with the phone. It's 160 is a mother to put a signal out on, and unless you want to spend $1,000 for a high Q antenna, you're better off just not even worrying about it, or just building a big fat coil. Just build yourself a coil with 200 feet of wire on it, wrap it around a 5-gallon bucket, and then attach that to a 10-foot or an 8-foot rod with a cap pad on it, and you probably do pretty darn good. I mean, look how good Bruce does with that antenna that he built.
Right there, that's definitely that's something to think about.
Turn the bucket upside down, put some weight in it, wrap the thing with 200 feet of 10-gauge wire or 8-gauge wire, side by each, real close. Have it go up to an antenna, to a rod, and with a cap pad on it, and some radios beneath it, and you'd probably build it yourself. But if you could get a resonant point, you'd probably find yourself a pretty good antenna.
That might work, and I bought that super tuner there that we were looking at there a couple months ago there, so I've got that. That's what I plan on taking. That's going to be a nice little tuner for the boat. That's a nice little compact, and I wasn't sure how big that thing was because I've never seen one, but no, that's going to be perfect.
Yeah, I've got a little super tuner here. I picked it up from Randy, W2KRY, and I've used it. It's a fine tuner. It does a good job.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So that'll be cool. Maybe I will build something like that and try it out. It's like I get up to the boat there and I have nothing else to do, so I make sure to bring lots of wire and a 5-gallon bucket.
What? You got nothing to do when you're on your boat?
You going to the summit, Gary?
I am.
I'm going to try to mount the homebrew short 160-meter antenna on the back of the MDU. I might try to bring it along with me. You can take a look at it.
Well, that'd be great, Bruce. I'd like to check that out. That would be cool if you bring that along there, and I'll definitely take pictures, and that might be the way to go. I would like to check I'm definitely open for options. Like I say, Randy, what are we from my slip to your house is like, I don't know, for 17 miles maybe, so something like that. But that's definitely not long path, it's short path. So that's if we could do something like that. Like I say, last year when I was giving it all I had there with that thing I've got there. I don't even know what the hell it's called, but and you couldn't even you couldn't even hear or tell anything that I was there. But if I could have something there that I could at least talk to you, that would definitely be a plus.
Well, Bruce, I didn't realize Bruce was still in here, but he has a hell of a signal from there. But we maybe just be too close, Gary. I mean, the whole lake's only 25 miles, long. So we're less than 25 miles apart, that's for sure. And it just may be a simple fact that we're too close. I'm not sure, but you've got a hotel, right? You're going to stay. You've got the room all picked out and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll be there for the whole weekend, so that's good. You'll be able to, pick Bruce's mind, and he'll be able to tell you what you got to do. Bruce, I mean, how big is the coil on your antenna?
Well, there's two of them, in fact, because I was trying to make a hybrid thing, but the one of them is about 7 inches in diameter and 10 inches tall, and the other one is about 6 by 6 inches.
What's the first one in diameter?
About 7 inches. Let me open up my notebook because I can't. I have all the dimensions and the turns written down here somewhere.
That would be so cool if I could build something and make it work.
Oh, you could, I'm sure. Especially if you would just... The trick is multi-banding. I mean, that's what makes it difficult. But if you wanted to just build something for 160 or any one band, it's not that difficult.
No, that would be strictly just for this band right here, right? This frequency only.
Yeah, the main coil that gets fed by the signal is 7 1/4 OD. It's got 60 turns on it of 3/16 copper tubing, and it's 10 3/4 inches high. But that wouldn't be enough. You'd need a bigger coil, actually, if you built it like that with that big tubing on it. If you use smaller wire, you could probably get away with something about that size with more turns.
I'll have to get a bigger boat. But now we can't go wider with less turns.
Yeah, you can. You can go wider. Yep. What's your height restriction?
My boat's about 17 feet high.
Yeah, but how high up would you be willing to go?
That'd be about that'd be about all I could do. Otherwise, it would hit going under the bridges.
Yeah, well, maybe you could just fold it down or something if you want. If you wanted to reach up. This thing is like 12 feet, 13 feet, kind of high, all put together.
No, that would be okay.
I got a big donut-shaped cap hat on it. It's up, maybe 18 inches in diameter, and the round part, which would be the donut part that you'd sink your teeth into, is a piece of 5-inch flexible aluminum vent tubing, pipe, like you'd use on a dryer.
Okay, yes, yep, the flexible ductwork.
Yeah, it's aluminum. So I just turned it around in a circle and riveted it together and put a central hub on it that's held on with some strap. It's just something I threw together, but it worked. You probably want to consider something a little more rugged than that. If you're going to be in the marine environment.
Well, it'd be just something I would definitely only use it for, when I'm parked in the slip. I'm not going to go across the lake with it and try to transmit, but into the wind or anything like that. But it just something while I'm parked in the slip, pretty much stationary there. So yeah, that sounds good. Definitely, I'm going to pick your brain at the summit for sure. And to Echo Whiskey Mike, we just missed the quarter.
Okay, KD1 Mountain Whiskey.
KAV2ZVP.
Where's Ray tonight?
He was on, but I think he checked out.
Yeah, hot day with the Doublemans.
No idea.
He's not back with Joan, is he?
No, they've always been friends, but he thinks that she's insane.
Well, she probably thinks he's insane too as well.
And she would be more right than him.
Yeah, I concur. He's probably up the street there. What's that place you guys raised hell there last year? There, that hotel that you stayed at there.
No, he's been home. He's been home all night. He just checked out, went to bed.
That was nice of you to stop up the band last night. That was pretty cool.
What's that?
I said that was nice of you to stop up the band last night and check in.
Oh yeah, I like those guys. I like seeing Richie, and of course Jack's, always a blast.
Those guys, they're up there raising hell right now.
Who are they?
Oh yeah.
Wow, give us all you got, Ron. It's a rough night tonight, Ron. Give us all you got, buddy.
K89, CAC.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, I won't tie it up. Just clear out of here. Okay, you can't talk you very well. I can hear you a little bit. We'll call it another night. K89 safety.
Well, you're 10 over, almost 20 over at times, but there's just a lot of static in here tonight. It's just summertime, springtime. It's not even summertime band conditions.
All right, we'll catch you later, then. K89 safety.
All right, pal. Well, thanks for coming by. Nice to hear you.
And 2 Echo Whiskey Mike, pushing the 20.
Hello, Bravo. 2 Zulu Victor Papa.
S&K Delta 1 Mountain Whiskey. I'm going to say some threes, guy. There's a lull in the rain, and I'm going to run in. I didn't bring my rain hat out with me, so I'm going to run into the house. Trying not to get my glasses too wet. 7-3s, KD1MW.
Sleep
Hold
well,
on,
Bruce. Good night, 73.
Bruce, are you out in the shack?
Yeah.
Do you really have a shack that's outside the house?
Well, I got this building, this metal building that I have a shop in, my lab, and my, the other part of it's just storage and park the vehicles in there. So yeah, it's a distance to the house. I got to run about 180 feet or something like that.
All right, that's cool. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's definitely in the ham shack garage combo. So, all right, 7-3s and 180 feet. That you got a sprint there. So, all right, that's pretty cool, Bruce. All right, 7-3s and thanks for the load down there. And like I say, I'll keep duly noted there, and I'm going to bring my camera there. Mickey's going to bring the icon or whatever kind of thing is there. So, yep. All right, 7-3s and good to hear you in there, and we'll catch you tomorrow. And 2 Echo Whiskey Mike.
Okay, sleep well. Pleasant dreams.
What the hell's the name of that camera? The Icon or something like that? What is that, Randy?
How do I know about cameras? I use my iPhone.
I don't know. I can think it was Icon or Kodak or something. It's something like that. I'm gonna have to go upstairs. I have to get. Now I gotta see because it's on the Icon.
Well, where's Mickey? Ask her.
Oh, she's upstairs filling my glass.
Oh, she's a good girl.
Oh, she is, indeed. Jack's up the band there. He's talking about birds. Talking about birds in the trees. The eagle was looking in the window at him or something, and then he went down and caught a mouse, and he came back up, and he was staring at him through the window there, where a couple crows usually stand. And so it was kind of amusing there. But yeah, they're up there raising hell tonight.
Let's go up and say hi. I'll scoot up there. KB2ZVP. It'll take me a second. I gotta get tuned up.
You gotta tune that. You don't have to tune that thing, do you?
Yeah.